were high in Ottawa for Adam Rita's Rough Riders at the start of the year. But several key injuries soon took their toll. Even a healthy quarterback, Danny Barrett, hasn't been able to stop the bleeding in 6 straight losses. They're not number 1, but a playoff spot is there with a win tonight.
If someone had told us at the beginning of the season that all we had to do is win our last game to make it to the playoff, we wouldn't have believed it. But the chance is here. We got to take advantage of it.
Forest Greg's Pirates have come home on a winning note. Thanks to heroics from David Lucas and Bjorn Nitmo. Last week in Toronto, Lucas scorched the Argos on this punt return for a touchdown. And Nitmo put the boot to Toronto's plan for a win with a 55-yard field goal on the last play.
The key now is that we're making special team plays, and we're coming together as an offense and a defensive group, and we're also playing together well, very well.
It's the Eastern Riders against the Southern Pirates here on CFL Live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to CFL Live, Louisiana style. I'm Rod Smith. This is the final weekend of the CFL regular season. All the playoff teams have been set except for one. It'll either be the Ottawa Rough Riders or the Hamilton Tiger Cats in that last spot in the CFL East Division. Simply put, if Ottawa wins tonight, the Rough Riders are in. If they lose, they could still get in, but they'd have to go through the back door, needing a win by Saskatchewan over the Tiger Cats at Ivor Wynne Stadium on Sunday. With more thoughts on the game, let's go upstairs now to Gord Miller and Jamie Bowen.
Thanks very much, Rod. Good evening, everyone. If you told the Ottawa Rough Riders, even at the midway point of the season, that all they'd have to do to make the playoffs is beat the Shreveport Pirates, they'd have loved their chances. Now, with 6 straight losses, I'm not so sure they do. The Riders began the season with a lot of promise. They've had a ton of injuries. Stephon Jones is back in the lineup, but typically Jock Climie is out, so Jones is really the spotlight tonight, Jamie.
Well, Stephon Jones is such a vital part of this Ottawa offense because he gives them the vertical push down the field and their passing game really needs. So when Danny Barrett looks to go deep tonight, look for him to be looking to Stephon Jones.
And in this game, we have a matchup of the teacher and the understudy. Danny Barrett and Michael Johnson were teammates together in BC, and the Shreveport quarterback credits Barrett with teaching him a lot about the Canadian Football League. And, hey, the guy's won 2 of his last 3 starts.
Hey, listen, he's only started 4 games. He's 2-2. That's pretty good when you consider Shreveport hadn't won a game. What he brings to this team is CFL experience. He's a lefty, and he also has a strong arm.
Well, the Ottawa situation is very simple, and it was simply put today by a Rider player who said he does not want to spend his offseason explaining to fans in the nation's capital how the team missed the playoffs because it lost to a club owned by the Glebermans. It would indeed be a long, cold winter in the nation's capital. Rod?
All right, thank you, Gord. It would indeed. And by the way, the last time the Glebermans' current team faced its former team, that was back in the first weekend of the 1994 season. No contest at all. The Ottawa Rough Riders rolled over the Glebermans 40-10, and a lot of people thought these two clubs would go in much different directions from there. Well, they really haven't. Since then, Ottawa has won only 3 games. The Pirates have won 2 and are arguably the team coming in with a lot more momentum tonight. We'll be back in a minute. The Riders and the Pirates on TSN CFL Live.
Welcome back to Week 18, the start of it in the CFL and the race for the final playoff spot in the East Division. I'm Gord Miller with Jamie Bowen and Rod Smith. And Jamie, what do you see as the difference in this football game today?
It's going to be absolutely imperative for the Ottawa Rough Riders to protect Danny Barrett. The offensive line is going to have to do a good job because Shreveport's defense is not very good. But you know what they try to do to make up for it? They try to come after the passer, they try to blitz, they try to make a lot of things happen, and they gamble. Imperative that they block for Danny Barrett tonight.
And the Shreveport Pirates, coming off a victory on the last play of the game last week against the Toronto Argonauts, have plenty of confidence. Forrest Gregg wants his team to build towards next year and wants his owners, Bernard and Lonnie Gleberman, to get some revenge against the players and the people of Ottawa, who have been unceremoniously jeering them all season long. Adam Rita just beset by problems all season long. His team has lost 6 straight, and Adam Rita, quite honestly, cannot pinpoint all the problems his team has had, but injuries certainly a major part of it. The wind conditions are going to play a major role tonight. The wind is blustering from the south or right to left as you look at it on your television screens. And field goals could be coming in from a long way out. The wind gusting to 50 kilometers an hour, but much more than that. Also, tornadoes have been reported about an hour north of here. Rain is expected at some point this evening, so we could be in for an interesting evening weather-wise.
Well, the pregame warm-up, we saw Terry Baker attempting some field goals and getting his leg loosened up, and he was kicking 65-yard field goals effortlessly with that wind. So he said the secret tonight is going to be get the ball up high and let the wind do a lot of the work.
Dave Ridgway holds the CFL record, by the way, for the longest field goal, some 60 yards. The Shreveport Pirates will begin this game receiving the ball and will have the wind, and Terry Baker there to kick it off for the Ottawa Rough Riders.
And we talked about the wind blowing right in Terry Baker's face. What I think you'll see him do here is try and kick the ball up as high as he possibly can and allow the wind to try and put the ball and hold the ball so that Ottawa can run down underneath it.
David Lucas and Ryan Benjamin are back deep to receive here at the Independence Bowl in Shreveport, Louisiana. The end of the first season for the expansion Shreveport Pirates. The Ottawa Rough Riders hoping this is not where the tombstone for their 1994 season goes. And the Hamilton Ticats, we understand, have gathered at Wally Zatilny's place in Hamilton and are watching anxiously. We say hello to Wally and the gang, and we know the Tabbies will be keeping close tabs on this one tonight. Into the stiff breeze, Terry Baker to kick it off. And look at the wind just push that back. The kickoff bounces at the 45, flags are down, and it is Ottawa football. The Ottawa Rough Riders have the football. Looks like Brett Young fell on it. We'll see what the flags are about. And it's interference called against the Ottawa Rough Riders as a rider on the coverage team pushed a Shreveport Pirate out of the way. And Greg Battle there arguing the call, but the referee Bud Steen now conferring with his colleague. So you saw the wind playing a major role right away, Jamie.
And that was actually a very smart play by Ottawa to do that because it allows their coverage team to go down. Now what the officials are talking about here is that the kicking team cannot go down and interfere with a player going for the ball. They can't push him out of the way. They can go for the football, but they can't push somebody else out of the way.
Interference on the kickoff, and re-kick is the call from Bud Steen, this evening's referee. Well, Terry Baker might be rethinking his strategy here now because certainly a high kickoff will not be to his advantage. In fact, he may end up catching it on the fly if he puts another one up in the air. And Forrest Gregg talking it over with his offensive unit, which still waits to go on the football field. But the wind, a huge factor. We saw it in the pregame warm-up. Punters nailing the ball some 70 yards in the air. Bjorn Nitmo and Terry Baker both made 60-yard plus field goals. By the way, the NFL record for the longest field goal, 63 yards, was also set in this state. Tom Dempsey kicked it outdoors at the Sugar Bowl for the New Orleans Saints. That was in the early 1970s. Not the kind of day the quarterbacks love, but both kickers had big grins before this one. And Terry Baker hangs another one up high. This one settles down at about the 50-yard line. It's picked up there by Lloyd Hill, and Lloyd Hill got maybe 3 on the return, so kicking off into that wind is going to be a major problem. The starting line is brought to you by Speedy Auto Glass. Don't take a chance, take your auto repairs to Speedy. Michael Johnson, who spent part of his season in arena ball after being with the BC Lions, open training camp actually with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and has now found a home in Shreveport. Under 50% completions, but over 1,100 yards, and he is, as you mentioned, Jamie, 2-2 as a starting quarterback, and the Shreveport Pirates begin this drive 1st and 10 at their own 49-yard line. And Johnson right away to pass with the wind at his back, but he will not get it away. David Benefield comes in and gets the sack, his 10th of the season, leading the Ottawa Rough Riders.
And this is going to be a match all night long that we're going to have to watch. Fred Childress, the right tackle. Now, we talked about Mike Johnson being a lefty, so now the right tackle is the backside tackle. They have a rusher, David Benefield, against him, who gets that sack. Benefield, a linebacker, 6'3", 230 pounds. Childress, 6'4", 330. One of the things about Childress is say if he lost about 40 pounds, he could be a great right tackle. Right now, he might be a little bit heavy, not quite as quick.
Loss of 7 on the play. 2nd and 17 now for the Pirates. And as you mentioned, Childress has to protect Michael Johnson's blind side as he is a left-handed quarterback. 3 receivers to the near side of the field. Johnson rolling back under pressure again, gets it away high, but incomplete. He was looking for Charles Thompson. That pass was a good 20 yards over his head, and David Benefield was back in his face. So 2 and out for the Shreveport Pirates.
Now, it's one thing about Urban Bowman's defense. He's the defensive coordinator for Ottawa. Did the same thing when he was in Winnipeg. This is a pressure defense. They come at you with everything. They like to play man coverage. That's their identity on defense. So Mike Johnson's going to see a lot of Ottawa players in the backfield with him this afternoon, or this evening.
Aaron Canner back to punt, and he should get a good assist from the wind here. 11 Ottawa Rough Riders up on the line of scrimmage. Nick Mazzoli, the lone deep back. Here comes the rush, and he gets it away. Not a very good kick, low and tumbling, and it gets by Mazzoli. Did he touch it? Well, he got nailed at the 15-yard line. Nick Mazzoli got drilled as he was hit by Ryan Benjamin, and he got some help from Anthony Shelton, and a huge special teams play by the Pirates.
Well, you try never to let the ball bounce, but then if it does bounce and it goes by, don't stick out the paw and try and get a hand on it. Bad things happen. You can see the kind of hit that he took.
Shelton just drilled him after a 52-yard punt by Canner, puts the Ottawa Rough Riders first and 10 at their own 17-yard line. And Danny Barrett, coming off last season, which was his best in the Canadian Football League, has been riddled by injuries. Rib, shoulder, and elbow have all caused him problems this year, but he has pronounced himself 100% for this game. And he will throw into this win right away and has it complete to Stephon Jones. And Jones close to a first down as he tackled at the 27-yard line.
Pass is complete. Stephen Jones.
And he was stopped on the play by the corner, Cliff Baskerville. Stephon Jones had 6 catches last week, but you talk about a guy who's indicative of the season, he would be it. And the starting offensive backfield you saw a moment ago for Shreveport, Michael Johnson, and he understudied with Danny Barrett. The two got together yesterday, best of friends. And one thing about Danny Barrett, respected by teammates and opponents alike, and Michael Johnson certainly tops among that list. The fake to Michael Johnson. Here comes Danny Barrett angling for the sidelines. The flag is down, and so is Barrett after a gain of about 5 yards. Corus Urban made the stop on Danny Barrett on the play they call Sally Rand, where the quarterback has a designed running play called, and if he decides, he can just pull the ball back in. The lineup for the Ottawa Rough Riders, Danny Barrett with Dean Noel and Mike Richardson in the backfield. Those are the only 2 running backs Ottawa has dressed, so if someone gets hurt, they'll have to go to a 5-receiver set. Mazzoli, the newcomer Keith Jack, James Ellingson, and Stephon Jones are the receiving corps.
And the offensive line remains healthy with Mike Graybill, Chris Gioscas, James Monroe, Bruce Beaton, and 2-time lineman of the year, Jim Mills at right tackle.
Illegal contact downfield. The call against the Shreveport Pirates gives Ottawa a first down at about the 38-yard line of the Riders. Just underway here in Shreveport. The opening game of Week 18 of the CFL season. Barrett again back to pass. Looking to the sidelines, and he had it knocked down. It was knocked down by Alex Mash, a rookie from Georgia Southern, who got his paw up to make the stop. Georgia Southern, the school made famous by Tracy Ham, now starring for the Baltimore CFL team. 2 great names on this defensive lineup, Mash and Savage. You wouldn't want defensive linemen named anything but, would you? And Greg Stuman, the Shreveport Pirates MVP in the team's inaugural season, anchors the linebacking corps.
And the secondary is anchored by Joe Fuller, who comes in with 7 interceptions, the leading interceptor on that secondary.
On second down, Barrett over the middle has his man James Ellingson, and Ellingson down at the 51-yard line has another Ottawa first down.
We just talked about Joe Fuller. They run James Ellingson on a quick slant in. A 3-step drop by Danny Barrett. He gets man coverage all the way with Joe Fuller. Puts the ball right on Ellingson.
Gain of 11 on the play gives Ottawa another first down at the Rider 50-yard line, and now the wind really gusting into Danny Barrett's face. To the ground they go, and Michael Richardson, not much there as Richardson is stacked up right away. Ben Williams comes in to make the tackle on Michael Richardson, the 2-time CFL rushing champion who is coming back from a torn quadricep muscle injury that has kept him out for much of the season. Richardson missed a dozen games for the Ottawa Rough Riders, an injury Danny Barrett knows well. He suffered the same injury in the 1991 Grey Cup game.
Not only coming back, but coming home.
Yeah, Michael Richardson, a native of Natchez, Mississippi, about 3 hours from here, and he played at Louisiana Tech, which is also not far from here, and has played a couple of games in this stadium before. Barrett on second down, throws up to the flat. Richardson's wide open, 1 man to beat, and Richardson just stands him up at the 50, fights his way down to the 46-yard line before he's finally forced out of bounds. The play is made by Carlton Johnson, but not before Michael Richardson gets another first down. Richardson played in the 1990 Independence Bowl in this stadium when he played for Louisiana Tech. His team took on Maryland, and his first game here was in 1988 when Louisiana Tech played Houston. And Houston at the time was quarterbacked by Andre Ware, who went on to win the Heisman Trophy and who is now his teammate in Ottawa. The gain was 12 on the play for Richardson. 1st and 10 for the Ottawa Rough Riders at the Shreveport 48-yard line. And Barrett, unafraid to throw into this wind, puts another one up for Stephon Jones, who almost got away from Cliff Baskerville, because it is a gain of 7. And there is a flag on the play.
It's a nice route by Stephon Jones. Turns inside, makes a reception, does a nice little spin move now. Baskerville manages to bring him down. But unfortunately, it's going against Ottawa.
And Greg Stewart talking it over with Bud Steen, and holding, I believe, is the call. And this will move the Ottawa Rough Riders back into their own territory.
What he's calling there is a chop block, and that's when you have one offensive lineman blocking a defender, and then the other offensive lineman comes in and cuts him at the knees, and that's illegal. That's a 15-yard penalty.
I believe the penalty was on number 64, Bruce Beaton. Bud Steen's microphone is not working, so we'll do our best to read lips for you tonight. And if you could read Adam Rita's mind, I'm sure you might get some unpleasant thoughts. It is now 1st and 25 for Ottawa, and the Riders are back to their own 47-yard line. And you can bet that Mr. Steuben and company will be looking for Danny Barrett. Draw play and the give to Michael Richardson. And Richardson picked up maybe 6 or 7 as he got back to the 53-yard line, but well short of the first down. It'll be 2nd and about 19 for the Ottawa Rough Riders.
And that was a good call. They were playing man underneath, zone on top. But watch number 95, Greg Steuben. He's spying Richardson all the way. Comes in and makes a shoestring tackle. Stops a big gain.
Steuben, a 3-time CFL All-Star, was the most outstanding defensive player back in 1987. We forget how long he's been around. He was traded for Matt Dunnigan at the end of the 87 season. And here he comes on the blitz. Barrett rolling out on 2nd and long. The pressure's on, and Barrett gets it away, looking to the sidelines, but Stephon Jones well covered, and that pass, in fact, goes into the crowd where a fan made a nice catch. But you have to give the ball back. This is not hockey where you get to keep the puck.
Well, Reggie Rogers got some nice pressure on Danny Barrett. Reggie Rogers, a first-year player, of course, with Shreveport, was a former #1 draft choice of the Cincinnati Bengals back in 1987.
And now Terry Baker into that stiff breeze will attempt his first punt of the evening. Back deep to receive, Terry Smith and David Lucas. And Baker gets a pretty good kick away. The wind holds it up. This is David Lucas from his 26-yard line. Flags are down, and so is Lucas. A gain of about 1 yard on the 31-yard punt by Terry Baker. 8:35 to play in the first quarter. No score, no yards is the call against the Ottawa Rough Riders. Shreveport will have its second offensive possession when the CFL Live returns to Independence Stadium in just a moment. Give the Ottawa Rough Riders credit. Terry Baker got away a 31-yard punt into that breeze, and the Riders used 5 minutes and 2 seconds on the clock into that very stiff wind.
It's so vitally important to have ball control against that kind of a breeze, and you think that Danny Barrett did a nice job mixing it up. Unfortunately, they had that chop block penalty that brought it back, and they had to punt the ball away, but nonetheless, a good drive.
Now, after going 2 and out on their first series, the Pirates have it 1st and 10 at their own 41-yard line. There's the draw play to Martin Patton, and Patton trying to get outside, but runs into a wall of Ottawa Rough Riders. Glenn Kulka was there to ride him out of bounds after a gain of 1. The offensive lineup for Shreveport, Michael Johnson as Butch Hadnot and Martin Patton. Former Ottawa Rough Rider Reggie Barnes was in the lineup, but is no longer for the Shreveport Pirates. Another former Ottawa Rough Rider, Wayne Walker, anchors the receiving corps along with David Lucas. Lucas leads the team with 701 receiving yards.
It's a very big offensive line, averaging 300 pounds. Danelle Johnson, Uzo Ukiki, Mike Stowell, John Heidenreich, and the big one, 330 pounds, Fred Childress.
His shadow might weigh 120. On 2nd down, here is Johnson throwing complete to Wayne Walker. One referee says no, the other says yes. And Walker has a first down and a gain of 10 yards up to the 51-yard line. First down, Shreveport.
Now this will be an interesting matchup all night long. Emmanuel Martin is a left corner getting his first start. Of course, Mike Johnson, the lefty, he likes to go left because he's left-handed. They might try to work on the first-year player, even though he has had some experience in NFL training camps. Nonetheless, Emmanuel Martin is on the hot corner tonight.
And Martin played professional football not far from here in Houston, about a 3-hour drive away. 1st and 10 for the Pirates, and Johnson goes back to the air and goes back to Walker and almost had it intercepted. And Emmanuel Martin, who already has 1 interception this year, very nearly had his second. Setting the defensive lineup for you, John Kropke, the outstanding defensive player for the Ottawa Rough Riders, with Kulka and McCready, the veterans. The linebacking core, Greg Battle, after a tour in Las Vegas earlier this year. The 2-time CFL outstanding defensive player has been a big addition for Ottawa.
Well, Andre Francis, the veteran, down in left corner. And take a look at Emmanuel Martin. What a nice jump he gets in the ball here. Almost picks it off and realized he would have had 6 points.
2nd and 10. Flags are down. Johnson is under pressure, and he too is down. And David Benefield has him for the 2nd time today. And now pushing and shoving breaks out behind Johnson. John Heidenreich was involved, as was Glenn Kulka. Alfred Smith got in there late for Ottawa. The flag came down early at the line of scrimmage, and it is offside against the Riders. Ottawa, the 2nd most penalized team in the Canadian Football League.
And Shreveport, the least penalized team in the CFL.
Only the bad boys, the BC Lions, have been penalized more than the Ottawa Rough Riders. And already Ottawa has been hammered for 45 yards in penalties tonight.
75, Ottawa, second down field.
And Derek McCready called for offside. Shreveport now 2nd and 5 into Ottawa territory at the Rider 54-yard line. And now Mike Johnson goes to the shotgun for the first time tonight. 3 receivers to the far side of the field. Johnson swings it out of the backfield for Butch Hadnot, and Hadnot has the first down and more. Hadnot still going, and finally forced out of bounds. He dropped the football. He got it back at the 31-yard line. A gain of 23 yards and a Shreveport first down. Butch Hadnot, who came into this game with only 4 catches, has his 5th of the season. That, his longest reception of the year, covers 23.
This is a nice job by Mike Johnson. He sees the blitz. They bring Alfred Smith, of course, and David Benefield, and they just swing Butch Hadnot out of the backfield. Once he gets the ball, he does has some pretty nifty moves, fumbles it, but manages to get back on top of it.
And he gives his team another first down. Back to the ground, and Martin Pat has the outside. Brett Young comes up, and Young makes the tackle at about the 24-yard line. It's a gain of 8 yards. Martin Patton, averaging 4.4 yards a carry coming into this game, had 7 rushing touchdowns for the Shreveport Pirates, and defending against the run is something that Ottawa does not do well. Ottawa has allowed a league-worst 28 rushing touchdowns and allows about 6.4 yards a carry. That's not the kind of run defense that'll win you football games. Now on 2nd and 2. Draw play to Pat. Pat has the first down easily as he pulls his way across the 20-yard line down to the 19, and a gain of 4.
Hey, you know, Gore, we talk about what great pass rushers the Ottawa linebackers are, Jesse Small and David Benefield. Sometimes teams try to take advantage of that because they work so well up the field, they try to run the ball inside of them. Take a look at Jesse Small, number 50, the outside linebacker. That's exactly what they did that last play. Let him work himself up the field, and they run the ball inside.
And that's been the book on Small this year. Small had a great start for the Ottawa Rough Riders, but then teams started running at the holes he was vacating. And it caused all kinds of problems. Now here's Johnson looking to the end zone, has a man, and incomplete. He was looking there for Charles Thompson, but the pass fell incomplete as he just got his fingertips on it. Back for the coverage was Brett Young.
Just over the outstretched hands of Brett Young. That's a catch that he should have had.
Oh, but another penalty against the Ottawa Rough Riders. This time it's offside against Andre Francis, the cornerback. How often do you hear a defensive back called for offside? This gives Shreveport a first down at the 14-yard line. Ninth play of the drive. And Johnson gives it to Ryan Benjamin. Benjamin has a pickup of about 4 yards, stopped at the 11-yard line. David Benefield and Alfred Smith come up to make the stop.
And one of the things that's been impressive, Gord, is Butch Hadnot. We talked about him receiving the ball just a few minutes ago, but he's thrown in the last 2 big runs that Shreveport have had 2 great blocks. Not only is he a good runner, he's a good blocker.
And we've got an injured player down on the field for the Ottawa Rough Riders. It's Glenn Kulka, the veteran nose tackle. Kulka in his 9th year in the CFL, 5th with Ottawa. And Kulka, too, has had injury problems this season, so as the Ottawa medical staff checks him out, we'll take a timeout and be back to Shreveport in just a moment on the CFL Live on TSN. Back in Shreveport, Louisiana, Ottawa and Shreveport scoreless with 4:10 to play in the opening quarter, but Shreveport is driving. And when they met in the opening week of the season, they were tied at 7 after the first quarter, so Shreveport did stay even with Ottawa in the early stages of this game, and this is a much different Shreveport team. Second and a couple for the Pirates, just outside the 10-yard line. Back to the ground, and it's Thompson, and Thompson close to the first down, needed most of the 10-yard line and was stopped right at it. Charles Thompson, a slot back on the carry there for the Shreveport Pirates, something you don't see very often.
No, they try to get the two backs to the outside. You can see all the players saying, let's go for it. We're only less than a yard away.
And Forrest Gregg sends the big people in. Here's the run by Thompson.
Alfred Smith does a nice job of turning them back inside. That's where all the flows come. You see Big John Kropke, the defensive end, making the tackle.
And the ball is spotted at the 11-yard line. It'll be third and a long yard, but the short yardage offenses come in for the Shreveport Pirates. The Hall of Famer Forrest Gregg watched his team in the early stages of the season and was beyond frustration, as he put it. But now his club has won 2 of its last 3 and is third and a long yard here. Martin Patton might have got there. Derek McCready made an early stop. We'll see where they spot it. It'll be very close. A slow developing play, Jamie, and that's a little surprising.
Well, they're trying to label the fullback, and he's supposed to pick off the linebacker, and then they try to sneak in behind him. But Jesse Small does an excellent job getting penetration, sliding inside.
And this is going to be a very close. The Shreveport Pirates came into this game last in 21 of the league's 35 offensive categories. An impressive drive here, but will it continue? And it is very close. Look at that. It is a first down by millimeters. The stitching on the football probably got him there.
Again, they lead with Butch Hadnot, but watch Jesse Small sneak right inside, and Hadnot can't get the block on him. He does a nice job of getting in there, but about a millimeter too short.
So now first goal for the Shreveport Pirates just inside the 10-yard line. What an impressive march by Mike Johnson in Shreveport.
Go!
Ryan Benjamin trying to get outside. Now he does, heading for the end zone. Touchdown, Ryan Benjamin from 9 yards out. And the Shreveport Pirates are on the board first. Ottawa looked to have him stopped up early, but Benjamin tiptoes up the sideline for his second rushing touchdown of the season.
And once again, I'm going to talk about Butch Hadnot because he just gets a piece of David Benefield just to the left of your screen. That's just enough. Now Brett Young comes up, takes the bad angle. We see Benefield can't make the play. Nice job of getting the ball into the end zone.
And now Bjorn Nitmo for the point after. There's early movement and flags everywhere. Nitmo, the hero last week for the Shreveport Pirates, and early on here, it's Mike Johnson and the Shreveport offense.
Offside, 75 Ottawa. Penalty applied on the kickoff.
Derek McCready offside for the second time in the football game. That penalty will be applied on the kickoff. So Bjorn Nitmo may be able to put that ball through the uprights on the kickoff with this wind behind him. And now again to try the point after. Nitmo puts it up and good, and the Shreveport Pirates have an early 7-0 lead over the Ottawa Rough Riders. 2:29 to play in the opening quarter, and the Pirates will not lay down easily for the Ottawa Rough Riders, playing for their playoff lives. Back in a moment to Shreveport, Louisiana. Well, they can't make the playoffs, but they can do the next best thing. They can help prevent someone else from getting there. Ryan Benjamin with a 10-yard score, and Shreveport leads Ottawa 7-0 with 2:29 to play in the opening quarter.
Well, I'm sure there are a lot of Hamilton Tiger Cats cheering in Hamilton right as we speak.
Don Sutherland, the Ticat coach this week, said he never thought he'd cheer for the Gleamermans, but he'll make an exception this week. Look at the time it took, 6 minutes and 6 seconds, capped off by Ryan Benjamin's 10-yard run. Mike Johnson mixes the run and the pass well. 12 plays on that drive, and now Bjorn Nitmo with a low driving kickoff, and over the head of the Ottawa return man, Keith Jack, all the way back to his own end zone, and Jack simply downs it there. He's got to wait to be touched. That's a live ball. Can't simply concede one like that, and Jack is finally contacted. Single point for Shreveport, 8-0 now, the Pirates lead. Keith Jack, a former Houston Oiler and also University of Houston Cougar, seeing his first action for the Ottawa Rough Riders in place of the injured Jock Climby, Ottawa's leading receiver, who is out of this game with a bruised collarbone.
And it was funny, we were talking to Adam Reedy yesterday. We said, what can you tell us really about Keith Jack? And he said, I don't know, I've never seen him play. We'll find out tomorrow night.
Now down by 8 points, the Ottawa Rough Riders, 1st and 10 at their own 35. Penalties killed their last drive, and we'll see how they do here. Danny Barrett was unafraid to throw into that wind, which is whipping in his face. Back to the ground, Michael Richardson, nothing doing. Stopped on the play by Ben Williams. Flags are down at the line of scrimmage, but Ben Williams got in very quickly to stop Michael Richardson.
Shreveport defensive line is doing a pretty good job right now. They're talking about bringing their linebackers. And that time they were bringing Stuman again. The guard goes out and tries to get Stuman, and then Ben Williams shoots in and makes the tackle.
And now we know how he did it. He was offside, so it'll be 1st and 5 for Ottawa.
That helps.
From its own 40-yard line. Ben Williams out of Minnesota. Loving the hot, humid weather down here in Louisiana. About 75 degrees today, high humidity. Here's Michael Richardson, another Louisiana native. He battles his way close to the first down. A pickup of 4.5 as he stopped just short of the 45-yard line. Well, Michael Richardson, one of many good football players who played in this area. This stadium was home to Terry Bradshaw, among others. Joe Ferguson, who played in the NFL for about 15 years. Robert Parrish of the NBA Charlotte Hornets played his high school basketball here in Shreveport, and they love the football here. On 3rd and short, Danny Barrett dives straight ahead. Gain of a couple, and he has the first down easily. The Ottawa Rough Riders do like to run the football. The most rushing attempts in the Canadian Football League, and only one team in the CFL has run more plays this year than Ottawa. That's the BC Lions. And the indicative stat for Ottawa, when you look at the offensive numbers, Ottawa's middle of the pack in almost everything. Average yards per game, average per pass. Lead the league in field goals attempted, so those drives do tend to stall when Ottawa gets close. Here it's 1st and 10 from the 46. Barrett on the fake, under pressure, looking for Richardson. Richardson bobbles it, now has it, and is forced out of bounds at the Shreveport 51-yard line. He's ridden out of bounds by linebacker Ron Perry, but not before. A gain of 13 yards and another Ottawa first down.
You know, Danny Barrett just continues to amaze me because he has really been the one stable item of this whole Ottawa football team this year. This is a nice job. They fake the Richardson off tackle. Now he gets outside here. He knows he's going to take the big lick right there, bang, after he delivers it, but puts it right on the money to Richardson.
And Richardson made a nice juggling catch to get Ottawa into Shreveport territory at the 51. And Danny Barrett, the 11-year veteran, trying to get his team to the playoffs. Richardson again, this time nothing. He got maybe a yard, but the Pirates did a great job, and look who was there to submarine him. It's Greg Stuman. And that, the final play of the opening quarter, and what a quarter it was for the Pirates. With the win, Shreveport scores 8. But Ottawa will get the win and has the ball when we return for the second quarter on the CFL Live. And Rod Smith set to open the second quarter of this game, which opens week 18 of the CFL season. Ottawa has it second down at the Shreveport 50-yard line, and maybe this would put Ottawa in field goal range with the wind blowing.
Yeah, it would, because we saw Terry Baker hitting 65 yards before the game. This is within his range with this strong gusty wind.
Key in that sense in the warm-up. You always hear about guys in the warm-up. 2nd and 9, and Barrett has early pressure, gets away, flags are down. This is likely coming back, and Barrett stopped short of the first down, is tripped up on the play by Reggie Rogers, and got some help from Cliff Baskerville. Holding is the call against Ottawa. Shreveport will move the Riders back and make sure they take them out of field goal range.
Holding. 66. Ottawa. Be second down, repeat.
Holding call against Jim Mills, the right tackle, and that moves the Riders back to their own 50-yard line. 7th penalty of the game for Ottawa. 65 yards. Adam Rita has already been penalized. His team has been penalized in this football game. So now 2nd and 19 yards. And Danny Barrett to the shotgun. And offside, as there was tons of early movement, and Barrett had someone in the space right away. That was Eldonta Osborne, the outside linebacker, and Shreveport may be giving 5 of those yards back, unless he was drawn offside. And the way things have gone for Ottawa so far, I wouldn't be surprised. It is procedure, Ottawa.
Boy, they're just killing themselves right now.
Illegal procedure. 66. Ottawa.
Oh,
Second down,
Jim
repeat.
Mills again. Caught for holding on the previous play, and now for illegal procedure. And now it's 2nd and 24. And Adam Rita has seen this movie before. How many teams have plays for 2nd and 24 in the playbook? We'll see what Ottawa comes up with here. And Barrett's talking things over with Bud Steen. That's the problem. The center turned around. There's something wrong with the football, apparently.
No infraction on the play. Restarts at 26 clock.
So they'll restart the 20 as they had started a little quick on Danny Barrett. 20 seconds is fast enough, but if you give somebody 10, not nearly enough time. So Danny Barrett has the time he wants and now faces 2nd and 24 from his own 45-yard line. Here comes the rush. Barrett has time, gets outside. He's got a long way to go, and he'll try it. Barrett to the middle of the field and dragged down well short of the first down marker as he stopped at the 52-yard line. Reggie Rogers comes up to make the stop. A gain of 13 yards, but Barrett needed a lot more than that.
And you think of the last 2 possessions for Ottawa, they've both been stopped, those drives, because of penalties.
And Barrett had a first down run wiped out by a penalty that would have taken Ottawa down to the 40-yard line. And now Terry Baker to punt again, but this time he's got the wind at his back, so his average should improve somewhat. Angling it for the sidelines. It's taken in the end zone by David Lucas, and Lucas brings it out to the 2-yard line. Lucas brings it out, but perhaps not wisely as he stopped at the 2-yard line, and that's where Shreveport's first possession of the second quarter will begin. 8-0, the Pirates lead. We'll be back in a moment. The numbers through the first 15 minutes, a typical Ottawa Rough Rider game. The numbers almost identical except for one. Penalties, 5 for 55 for Ottawa. That's been the big story, but the Pirates begin this drive. 1st and 10 at their own 2 as David Lucas brought the ball out of the end zone and hems his team in deep. And Mike Johnson back to throw right away, is going deep and has a man, Wayne Walker, and the ball is over his head as he got in behind Manny Martin. Wayne Walker, the former Ottawa Rough Rider, wide open on the play.
It's a nice pass, and this is a place where you have to come up with your big plays of the ball game when you're on your own 1-yard line, and Mike Johnson decides that he's going to air it out. It's a few inches short. Takes a 3-step drop, and then he puts some air underneath it. Now the wind actually holds it up and allows Walker almost to run underneath it.
And Manny Martin, a former NFLer who is making his first start on the corner for Ottawa, having a good laugh with Wayne Walker, saying, "You got me that time, but I'll know better this time." Now Johnson looking for a first down, has it out to the flat, and has Lucas close to a first down as he got up to about the 11-yard line. He'll be about a yard short. And now Forrest Gregg wouldn't dare go gambling, would he? Mike Johnson twice throwing from his own end zone, cool as a cucumber, Jim.
And you can see the kind of arm strength that he possesses because he's got a stiff wind blowing right in his face. He gets back, he's looking all the way outside there against Andre Francis. Nice delivery. Nice catch, but just a yard too short to David Lucas.
And Andre Francis there to make the stop. Now, Aaron Canner has the big task. The wind has really whipped into his face now, just the last couple of seconds. And if you're Shreveport, you might consider giving up the safety here, but Canner will kick it away. A low driving kick and a very good one. Mazzoli out to midfield. What a kick by Canner, and now Mazzoli on the return. Gets down to the 43-yard line. A 43-yard punt, a 14-yard return. Aaron Canner just blasted that into the wind.
And the key to that was that he kept it low. He didn't try to get it up high in the air where the wind could catch it and hold it up there. He kicked a nice low spiraling punt.
Knocked down 5-iron by the look of it. Now Danny Barrett brings the offense back onto the field, trying to see if Ottawa can come back from this 8-0 deficit. Funny talking to some of the Rider players, they watched game film of their first game against Shreveport, but they said it was almost useless. The Pirates have made so many lineup changes, they didn't recognize anyone in the game. Now 1st and 10 Ottawa at the Shreveport 44-yard line. Barrett back quickly to throw, out to the flat, has his man, and he is down quickly. That is Keith Jack, his first reception, and a gain of, call it, 3 yards.
You talk about all the lineup changes, Gore. They only have 4 starters on defense that they had at the beginning of the year when they opened up against Ottawa, and I believe only 5 starters on offense.
First catch in the CFL for Keith Jack, and he has a 4-yard gain, and it's now 2nd and 6 for the Rough Riders from the Shreveport 40. 11:30 to play in the first half. Both teams have put together long marches here. Barrett under pressure has it. Mike Richardson in the flat. Richardson has the first down and more. All the way down to the 26-yard line. The tackle finally made by the safety, Anthony Shelton. But Michael Richardson comes up with a gain of 13 yards.
This is a play that they ran before, and what Shreveport are trying to do is have Anthony Shelton, the safety, man-to-man, and Stewman gets into Danny Barrett, but not before Barrett delivers the ball to Richardson. They're playing man coverage. You see the safety coming across, trying to take Michael Richardson, to take all the other receivers inside. Just can't quite get to him. A nice move by Richardson to get up the field.
And a first down for Ottawa. Here is Richardson again, breaking through the middle of the defense. And Richardson is all the way down to the 15-yard line and should have another Ottawa first down. He does after a gain of 12. So now Ottawa kicks its running game into gear. Boy, if you're the Shreveport Pirates, you think you're up 8-0. David Lucas elects to bring the ball out, and the field position all of a sudden shifts to the Ottawa Rough Riders, even with the great punt by Canner. The Riders began this drive in Shreveport territory. Barrett over the middle. He's got Dean Noel. Noel fighting for the end zone. Touchdown, Ottawa. He rode Anthony Shelton on his back right into the end zone, and Ottawa is on the board. A 15-yard touchdown reception for Dean Noel, his first touchdown of the season.
Well, a big mix-up in the coverage. Dean Noel goes out to the right. He's lined up in the slot position, goes right up the field. Nobody is covering him. See, Shelton comes across. It's from a safety spot trying to make the play, but too late.
And the point after from Baker. And the point after is good, and the Ottawa Rough Riders are back in the football game, trailing by a point at 8-7 Shreveport with 9:57 to play in the second quarter. So Ottawa's back in it and fighting for its playoff life. We'll return in just a few. The CFL Live on TSN is brought to you in part by Subway, the place where fresh is the taste.
Gentlemen, you talk about how the wind may be a factor. The rain could be too before the night is out. As I stand here at field level, I have felt a few drops, and in Shreveport, that's a worry. 3 games so far this season have been wiped out by monsoons and thunderstorms. One, in fact, they had to clear out the press box before the game was over.
Well, it'll have to rain pretty hard to get me out of here, I'll tell you that. The kickoff is bobbled by David Lucas, now up and running and still going across his 25-yard line, and Lucas is finally brought down in the play by Brian McCurdy, but Lucas gets all the way out to the 27-yard line, and Lucas was the guy on the last kickoff who elected to bring it out, and that was where Shreveport's problems began. This time, though, the Pirates will have better field position, 1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line.
And last week, David Lucas had the biggest punt return of his career, the 75-yarder against the Toronto Argonauts.
And that is what got Shreveport back into that wild football game against the Argos, where Shreveport won on the final play on a 55-yard field goal by Bjorn Nitmo. Here, 1st and 10 at the 29, and Johnson back again to throw. Early pressure gets it out to the flat and through the hands of the intended receiver, Charles Thompson. Well, the Ottawa Rough Riders take 2:21 off the clock. 4 plays, 66 yards, and Dean Noel goes 15 yards for the score. And the Ottawa Rough Riders put together a good drive of their own. Both teams chewing up the clock in this opening half, Jamie.
Yeah, doing actually a very nice job, especially Shreveport, I think, in that drive that they had with the win, 12 plays. When you consider in the opening game, they only ran 37 plays that whole football game.
After the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 29. Johnson, lots of time, brings it down, trying to get away, and does. But he only gets out to about the 36-yard line. He'll be about 4 yards short of the first down. Johnson might have made his decision just a bit too late, and as a result, he gets tripped up.
Again, Johnson looking to his left, pumps, decides, no, nothing's there. Now I'm going to try and make the best of it, just get up the field. A couple of yards short of that first down. I'm a little bit surprised with Shreveport going away from the run game. It seemed to be working fairly well for them when they were mixing it up as opposed to just getting back in the pocket and trying to throw the football.
Aaron Canner back to punt. His first into the wind was a great one. This one is high and hanging up a bit for Nick Mazzoli from his 43-yard line. Flags are down, and Mazzoli goes nowhere as he's buried under a hail of Shreveport Pirates. Leading the tacklers for Shreveport was Paschal Davis, number 35, but no yards is the call against the Bucks.
Well, Ron Perry gets in there. He's a backup linebacker.
No yards. 34, Shreveport, 15-yard penalty, first down.
And it's the 15-yard variety of no yards, and that'll be a huge boost to the Ottawa Rough Riders as the penalty moves them into Shreveport territory.
Well, he was within that 5-yard restraining zone, and then he fell down and he couldn't get out.
So 2 special teams plays have given the Ottawa Rough Riders great field position. Here it is 1st and 10 from the Shreveport 51-yard line. And again, with the wind at their backs, the Riders must feel as if they're already in Terry Baker's field goal range. Barrett on 1st down to throw. Lots of time. Looking deep. Has a man over his head. He was looking over there for Keith Jack, but the pass sailed over his head. Back on the coverage, the corner, Carlton Johnson.
Well, Keith Jack certainly shows you that he possesses very good speed, and nice compliment to Stephon Jones.
In fact, both Jack and Jones were going deep on the play, and Barrett had to choose between 2 open receivers downfield. Brings up a 2nd and 10 now from the 51. And Jack has moved now to the wideout position. 5 receivers in the game. Barrett over the middle to Michael Richardson. Richardson gets away from one man, but can't get away from the next. Daniel Hunter brings him down well short of the first down at the 47-yard line. And the field goal unit will come onto the field for Ottawa.
Well, Shreveport bring in their 6th defensive back, Daniel Hunter, number 27, and Michael Richardson does a good job of stopping Richardson.
And now the Riders have changed their mind as the Markel Fleetwood was coming onto the field to hold for the place kick. Instead, Terry Baker will punt from his own 50. It would have been a 54-yard field goal attempt. Baker gets a low driving kick away. Lucas slides forward at his 6. Looking for a block, but he ran right into an Ottawa Rough Rider. He got nailed on the play by Rao, number 93, who makes a great special teams play. And once again, the Pirates are hemmed in deep in their own territory. They'll begin their next drive at their own 11-yard line, leading by 1 on the CFL Live. Back in Shreveport, where the Pirates lead the Ottawa Rough Riders 8-7. Midway through the 2nd quarter of this football game, the Ottawa Rough Riders need a win in this game to secure the final playoff spot in the East Division. If the Riders lose, the Hamilton Ticats have a chance to grab it. Mike Johnson up and throwing, has a man, and he is out of bounds. Charles Thompson made the tiptoe catch up the sideline, but he is called out of bounds right in front of the Shreveport bench.
Nice concentration to take the ball right over your shoulder. That's a very difficult catch. You can see well out of bounds.
Surprising call. That's the second time deep in their own territory that Shreveport has tried that long pass on first down, and it now brings up a 2nd and 10. And into the wind, the Pirates have almost abandoned their running game. Johnson again to the sideline. Has his man over the middle, Smith, and he has a first down all the way up to the 38-yard line. Terry Smith with his first catch of the football game and a pickup of 25 yards for a Shreveport first down.
Well, this is something that Ottawa really don't like to do very often, don't feel very comfortable doing it, playing zone defense. You can see why Andre Francis just kind of stands there, and then he comes inside, number 88,
Well,
Terry Smith.
Terry Smith with the catch kind of off a pick. You saw Charles Thompson throw some interference in front of him. And it is a 1st and 10 for Shreveport at its own 37. Flags are down, and there was all kinds of early movement.
Donnell Johnson forgot what the snap count was.
Illegal procedure. 68, Shreveport. First down repeated.
From Johnson C. Smith University.
See the top of your screen.
Whoops.
That's like 2 counts too early.
Looked like he had a plane to catch. And plenty of penalties early on, but Ottawa still has the wide margin, 8 for 70, and we're 2/3 of the way through the opening half. Johnson back to the ground. Martin Patton. Patton cuts it back inside and gets a couple. Maybe back to the original line of scrimmage, stuff just short of it after a gain of 3. Martin Patton from Texas A&M. And you talk about a team that's ideally located for recruiting. How about Shreveport? With football hotbeds in Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi right nearby. This is a great place to go have a look at football players from all over the U.S. Trying to get the wave started. Big crowd here tonight. They're expecting 30,000 plus. Johnson under pressure gets it away deep. As a man, he's got the ball for a second and he dropped it. Lloyd Hill had possession for a moment as the ball hung up, but he couldn't hang on. Brett Young back for the coverage.
I mean, that's even incredible that Mike Johnson gets this ball away. The kind of pressure that he was under. Ottawa bringing 6 people. Johnson back in the pocket. Now just take a look at coming in there, Jesse Small, number 50. You see Kropke in there, Benefield. Lloyd Hill, those are the catches you have to make.
And the punt by Canner, low driving kick. Bounces to Mazzoli at the 50, touched it and dropped it, and it's kicked out of bounds. Whose ball? Shreveport. Mazzoli had the ball bounce up on that hard turf right by the sideline. It got away from him, and the Pirates touched it on the way out of bounds. It looked like Daniel Hunter got his hand on it and pushed it out of bounds.
What a heads-up play by Daniel Hunter. Watch Mazzoli moves it. Now watch Hunter get his right arm there, just touches it before it goes out of bounds, and the last team to touch it, their ball.
And you notice the ground near the sideline there where Daniel Hunter was is very hard. The sideline for the American football field is about 5 yards in, so the bench area for the players in those games is well worn, and that's where the ball hit the ground. 1st and 10 Shreveport from the Ottawa 49-yard line. Johnson looking deep again. Lucas bumped and flags are down. Andre Francis was with him step for step and probably too close. There are 2 flags on the play. Andre Francis, the 12-year veteran, may be called for pass interference. He is.
Deliberate forward pass interference. Number 1, Ottawa. First down, Shreveport.
And so the Pirates take advantage of another very costly Ottawa penalty. This will put them down at the 10-yard line.
This was a good call because take a look, Andre Francis makes no effort at all to play the football. He's playing David Lucas the whole time, has his hands all over his body.
And it's a 39-yard penalty of the Ottawa Rough Riders. It gives Shreveport a first down just inside the 10-yard line. The Pirates lead 8-7 with 4:40 to play in the second quarter. Back to the ground, Ryan Benjamin, and Benjamin is stacked up quickly. Glenn Kulka back to the football game after being shaken up earlier. Comes up to make the stop with Derek McCready. Well, Andre Francis has made a career out of playing it close on the corner. That time he played it too close, and Mike Johnson took advantage. It was a gain of 2, second and goal from the 8-yard line. Johnson going to the corner of the end zone, and his man is mugged. Wayne Walker was absolutely mugged by Gary Lewis, and flags are down.
Flags on the play. Let's hear it for Pirate ball.
Could it be another pass interference call against Ottawa? It certainly looks like it. And here's the call from Bud Steen.
Deliberate forward pass interference. Number 21, Ottawa, penalty and goal. First down, Shreveport, 1-yard line.
Gary Lewis called for pass interference the second time on this drive. Ottawa has been flagged for that. It'll give Shreveport a first down at the 1-yard line. And the rain now beginning to hail down here in Shreveport. And they're expecting plenty more of this before the night is out. The wind is whipping. It's starting to rain. You have to think if Shreveport scores here, an 8-point lead could stand up. The give to Patton. Touchdown! Martin Patton, his 8th rushing touchdown of the season. And there was another flag on the play. It was against Ottawa again for offside. This time, Shreveport will gladly decline it. It's a touchdown for the Shreveport Pirates, who can now make it a 8-point lead with a point after.
When you have Butch Hadnot in your backfield as your lead blocker, he's almost like another guard in there. He's 6'1", 220 pounds, and he's going to move a lot of people. Martin Patton, they hand it off tackle and gets his nose into the end zone.
Now Bjorn Nitmo for the point after. Nitmo puts it through. There is another flag on the play. Ottawa may set some kind of record here before the game is out. It looked like the Riders were offside again. And again, the infraction would be applied to the kickoff.
Offside on the defense. We have a convert. 5-yard penalty applied on the kickoff.
So they'll tack 5 onto the next kickoff. 3:29 to play now in the second quarter. And it is 15-7 Shreveport leading as a driving rain begins to fall here in northwest Louisiana.
Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, coming up at halftime, the world famous international.
And it is getting very, very windy here. They're expecting bad weather later on tonight. It's come a little early, and it couldn't come at a worse time for the Ottawa Rough Riders. Well, the Shreveport Pirates take the 2 pass interference penalties. The drive 3 plays 49 yards. Remember, it came after Nick Mazzoli couldn't handle the punt. It bounced out of bounds. Pass interference puts them to the 10. Pass interference puts them to the 1, and they go into the end zone.
Well, I think there were more yards and penalties there than there actually was in terms of yardage gain.
And you see big Fred Childress tucking it over on the Shreveport sideline. Nitmo drives a little knuckleball. Ottawa fakes the reverse. And here is Jack. Got away from the first man. Now looking for some blocks. He's finally pushed out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Nick Mazzoli was there to help him out of bounds. And Danny Barrett takes over with 3:20 to play in the second quarter. He could probably throw the ball 90 yards with the wind at his back now. Danny's having a good day so far. 8 of 11 for 84 yards, 1 touchdown. The problem has not been Ottawa's offensive numbers. The problem has been Ottawa's penalties. Riders have been flagged for 114 yards in penalties so far in the football game. Now 1st and 10 at their own 34. Richardson, nothing doing. Ray Savage got in to take him high. Reggie Rogers took him low as we arrive at the 3-minute warning. And it's a 15-7 Shreveport lead over Mike Richardson and the Ottawa Rough Riders. We'll return for the end of the opening half when we return to the CFL Live in just a moment. Losers of 6 straight, the Ottawa Rough Riders need a win tonight to clinch a playoff spot, but the Riders trail the Shreveport Pirates 15-7 with just under 3 minutes to play in the second quarter. 2nd and 9. Barrett's under pressure and he is dropped. Danny Barrett is down. The ball is loose. The whistle is still not gone. Alex Mash into the end zone. Touchdown. Alex Mash goes in for the score. There are no flags. Reggie Savage got in. Reggie Rogers, and Ray Savage got in to make the hit, and Alex Mash picked it up and got into the end zone.
The most important thing you have to do when you're the offensive tackle to the quarterback's backside, Mike Graybill at the bottom, you got to keep him off your passer. Doesn't happen. Savage gets in, strips the ball. Now Mash picks it up and takes it into the end zone.
Oh, what a turnaround for the Ottawa Rough Riders after the penalties. They get the ball back after the touchdown and give up a 26-yard score to a defensive lineman. Alex Mash, who weighs some 260 pounds, rumbles in for the touchdown. The point after makes it 22-7 Shreveport, and the Bucks have scored 2 touchdowns in the last 20 seconds.
Left ear screen number 57, Mike Graybill, just does not get a piece of Ray Savage. Savage comes up virtually untouched, strips the ball from Danny Barrett, and now Alex Mash picks it up. Big guy knows what to do with the ball.
They said they had something to prove tonight, and the Shreveport Pirates are certainly playing like it.
I got the blocking, all of it.
And you can see Charlie Carpenter in the background, the offensive coordinator for the Ottawa Rough Riders, talking it over with Danny Barrett. The Riders will get the ball back, but now trail by 15 points.
And you know, in that play, Gord, there's really nothing in terms of the system that was wrong. It's just that the left tackle, Mike Graybill, just failed to do his job and block Ray Savage. He's going over to talk to him now. Now, granted, Savage is lined up way outside of Graybill, but hey, you've got to get that left foot in the bucket. You got to get way back off the line of scrimmage so you can make sure that the defensive lineman can't get around the corner and get to your quarterback.
Now, Bjorn Nitmo has teed this up kind of sideways, so it looks like he'll try to line drive another kick down to the Ottawa Rough Riders. Kind of a helicopter-like deal. And handcuffs Jack, who faked the reverse again and is tripped up at the 27-yard line. Hustling downfield was Eldonta Osborne to make the stop.
This Shreveport team right now are like sharks smelling blood. They just seem to be on a big roll right now. They have all the momentum and confidence, and Ottawa seem to be really struggling right now.
Boy, if you had to look at this game and you didn't know who was who, and you had to guess who was playing for a playoff spot and which team had only 2 victories coming in, it'd be pretty tough to pick Ottawa and Shreveport in the roles they're assuming tonight. Trailing by 15. Barrett has the ball, 1st and 10 at his own 26. Out to the flat, and the pass is out of the reach of the intended receiver. He was looking there for Stephon Jones. We talked about Jones in the opening, Jamie, and he has really not been a factor for Ottawa so far in this football game.
He really hasn't been. They've been doing a nice job in the secondary against Stephon Jones. Giving him a nice cushion, but Ottawa trying to throw underneath it. Defensive backs for Shreveport are doing a nice job. Carlton Johnson and Baskerville, the corners.
Now 2nd and 10 Ottawa, and the Riders have to think with 2.5 to play in the second quarter. If they have to punt here, Shreveport put another one on the board. Barrett, look out, here it comes again. Out to Richardson in the flat. He's got a ways to go. Richardson fighting up to about the 32, but he's stuffed there by Corus Irvin. He got some help from Carlton Johnson, and Richardson well short of the first down. And Ottawa will be forced to kick it away.
Once again, Shreveport coming with all sorts of pressure, bringing 6 people and forcing Danny Barrett to throw it, dump it off early.
And Terry Baker, who has had 6 punts blocked this season, is back to kick it away from about his own 20-yard line. Baker gets it away. It's a low kick taken by Smith. Out across midfield to the 51-yard line. A 36-yard punt by Terry Baker. And the return by Smith gives Shreveport a first down at the Ottawa 50-yard line with 2:12 to play in the opening half.
Because you wear them till their tongues hang out, Micotin penetrates the skin to kill athlete's foot.
First and 10 Shreveport from the Ottawa 50-yard line. The Pirates lead this game by 15 points with 2:02 to play here in the opening half. Here's Benjamin, and Benjamin got maybe a yard as he's tripped up quickly on the play by John Kropke.
You know what's interesting about Shreveport's offense when you watch the tapes of Shreveport the last couple of games? They really have no play action pass at all. They do not fake run and then throw. We have not seen them run bootleg, any kind of play action pass at all.
Never seen them throw a screen pass. No gain on the play, 2nd and 10, and Johnson goes back to the shotgun. Here comes the rush. Johnson gets it away, has a man, Wayne Walker. He's got a first down to the 33-yard line. And a pickup of 17 yards. What a throw by Johnson into that wind.
See, now this is a mix-up in coverage between Emmanuel Martin and Gary Lewis. Both go deep. One's supposed to have that short zone. Wayne Walker just comes untouched underneath. And a nice job by Mike Johnson to find him.
The story brought to you by Chrysler Canada. 14 points in 48 seconds. 2 Ryder turnovers turned into 14 points, and penalties have been a big story as well here in the opening half. A 15-point Shreveport lead. 1st and 10 from the 33. Johnson going for it all to the end zone. Has a man. Oh, he almost had it. Wayne Walker had to go off his fingertips. And once again, he was in behind Emmanuel Martin.
Well, they're certainly going after Emmanuel Martin, no question about that. They want to test him. They think they can get behind him. They've shown it a few times. But the ball is in the air right now. And that's why this is almost caught. If he waits until he's by him, no way. He's not going to have a chance at it. The ball's going to be out of the end zone.
You notice that Martin was running with him, facing the quarterback. That's how NFL defensive backs are trained. In the CFL, they teach you to run with your back to the quarterback, and that may be why Martin's having trouble. Now on 2nd down, Johnson from the shotgun. Good protection. Throws over the middle. He was looking there for his inside receiver, Greg Ballard. The pass went over his head. In fact, Ballard was on the ground when the ball went over his head.
And Gord, you were talking about how the corners play in the NFL as opposed to the CFL. And the reason for that, obviously, is the size and width of the field. It's much narrower, of course, in the NFL. They can play that way. In the CFL, no way. There's just too much room to the sideline.
Had a chance to talk to Manny Martin this morning. He said his first game of the Canadian Football League, he could not believe the room out there. He said the distance from the hash marks to the sideline seems like forever.
You're on an island out there. And
here's Bjorn Nitmo, 5 for 5 last week, 55 yards. This from the 41 into the wind. Ottawa was offside. There was movement on the right side of the Ottawa defensive line, and this will move Shreveport 5 yards closer.
Offside. Number 50, Ottawa.
Jesse Small goes offside and gives Bjorn Nitmo 5 more yards to try this one.
You know, at the beginning of this game, I think Adam Rita had all black hair. Now look at it. It's turning gray on him.
So instead of trying this from the 41, Bjorn Nitmo will now try it from the 36 into a very stiff wind.
Go, Ottawa!
Terry Smith is the holder for the left-footed Bjorn Nitmo. Shreveport has a left-footed punter, a left-footed field goal kicker, and a left-handed quarterback. Nitmo puts it out. And no good. He pushed it wide to the right, and the Riders bring it out. He got a block, and here comes Nick Mazzoli. Mazzoli all the way out to the 27-yard line. Boy, did he get a great block at the goal line, Jamie.
Boy, Brett Young, he just rang Mike Stowell, the center's bell.
And Mazzoli brought it back 32 yards. My goodness, what a block. Brett Young threw right at the goal line.
Right there, number 62, boom. It looks like somebody hands him a hand grenade and it explodes. Nice job by Mazzoli to get up the field.
So 47 seconds to play now in the opening half. Ottawa trails 22-7 and has the ball 1st and 10 at its own 29. And Barrett will work from the shotgun with the wind at his back. Looking to the sideline, and the pass is dropped. He was looking there for Stephon Jones, and Jones simply dropped the ball.
It's just one of those evenings right now. Stephon Jones one-on-one against Chris Baskerville. Does a nice job of getting outside. But see how his head just doesn't quite follow the ball. He just at the end, and he doesn't look it all the way in. It's down to very basic fundamentals. Watch the ball in all the way.
Now with 42 seconds to play in the opening half, Ottawa better make sure it doesn't give Shreveport the ball back with too much time remaining. Barrett again from the shotgun. Here comes the rush. Back to the sideline, almost intercepted. Cliff Baskerville almost intercepted that football, and if he had, he'd have gone all the way.
Now, you can only go to the well so often, and Danny Barrett goes back to that same route. He thought he had it the first time. This time, Chris Baskerville recognizes what the route is, and he jumps on it. Ball's a bit high. That could have been 6.
And actually, Jones had a chance on the deflection to catch it. And Terry Baker is back to punt. David Lucas and Terry Smith back deep to receive. Baker gets a high, deep kick away. This is Lucas. He dropped the ball at the 30. Bonnie corrals it at the 25. Now waiting for a block that does not come. He is dropped on the play by Dean Noel, and Mike Johnson and the offense get it back for Shreveport at their own 30-yard line. 27 seconds to play. Shreveport with a 15-point lead. I thought Shreveport's second half last week against Toronto was the Pirates' best half of the season, but this is a pretty good candidate as well.
Numbers aren't outstanding, only 5 of 14, but you know, Michael Johnson, this is a big play offense. He said they like to throw the ball deep, to try and get the ball down the field.
You can tell he was Danny Barrett's understudy. He likes to go vertically. And he's going to go here. Here comes the rush. Johnson's going deep, and he overthrows the intended target. He was looking there for Charles Thompson, number 6, and the pass was over his head.
Mike Johnson making sure he adjusts that flak jacket. Took a pretty good shot from McCready. Sitting back in the pocket, takes a nice step up. John Kropke in there in the hit. I can't imagine what it would be like for quarterbacks if they didn't have flak jackets. There wouldn't be any playing. That's what would happen.
Second and 10, and they'll just run the ball out. Here's Martin Patton. Look at the room Patton's got. Patton one man to beat. And Remy Trudell forces him out of bounds at the 43-yard line. An innocuous-looking running play. And Martin Patton takes it 37 yards down to the Ottawa 43, 17 seconds to play. And Patton is shaken up on the sideline.
Well, Shreveport certainly using the pass to set up the run. Ottawa sitting back in that pass posture defense. They give the ball to Martin Patton, and he just takes it around the corner. If Remy Trudell wasn't there to knock him out of bounds, that was 6.
Just an innocent-looking running play that appeared to go for 8 or 9 yards, and all of a sudden Martin Patton just turned up the field. And they're putting one more second on the clock, so now 18 seconds remaining. And Shreveport has it at the Ottawa 43.
It looked like Patton was injured on that play as well. When he got hit out of bounds, it looked very a hard hit. Nonetheless, seems to be grabbing his side.
What a huge blow this would be to the Ottawa Rough Riders as Shreveport came away with points here.
Well, what's incredible is that this has all been done against the wind.
It's true. It was 8-7 after the first quarter, and Shreveport has gone to town in the second quarter. Mike Johnson trying to get his receivers figured out. And now Bud Steen steps in, and I think there's now too much time on the clock as there's 21 seconds on the clock. And it will be 21 seconds. Bjorn Nitmo waiting on the sidelines. Johnson. Toss to Patton. He may throw it. Throwing deep. Branch is back there on the coverage. And there are no flags as they were looking there to the wide receiver, David Lucas. That was Charles Thompson who came up trying to throw the football.
And actually, Ottawa did a very good job of covering that. Didn't really fool anybody, especially the veteran Andre Francis, 12 years in the league. He's seen it all. Didn't bite on this one bit. He's man coverage all the way with Lucas. Nice job turning and running with him. Knows where he is. That's great defense.
15 seconds to play in the opening half. Shreveport needs at least 10 more yards to get Nitmo close enough to try a field goal. Johnson, draw play. Benjamin stacked up. Mark Scott came in to make the tackle. 10 seconds left.
And the ball carrier.
And Forrest Gregg calls for the field goal unit. This will be an attempt of approximately 46 yards for Nitmo into the wind.
It's real tough because in the pregame warm-up we saw him kicking it. Actually, they get pretty good initial lift, but once it gets up high and it gets past those grandstands or higher than the grandstands at the right end of the stadium, the wind catches it and just kind of holds it in the air. I think it hits a brick wall. You can see the stiff breeze.
Might be able to hear it too if you listen closely enough. Nitmo from 46. And the wind just backed it down and the ball lands at the 7. Mazzoli falls on it. Flags are everywhere. It looks like no yards will be the call against the Shreveport Pirates. That ball dropped straight down.
Literally, once it got up high, it's like it hit a wall and it goes straight back.
And no yards to call on the final play of the half. Ottawa will likely decline it.
No yards.
Sprint for the dressing room. Down 22-7. The Ottawa Rough Riders need this game to make the playoffs, but they'll need to do a lot better than they did in the opening half. The Shreveport Pirates with a 15-point lead. The CFL Live halftime report is coming up next on TSN. Jamie Bone and Rod Smith. It's week 18 of the CFL season, the final week of the regular season. One playoff spot is left to be decided in the Canadian Football League. If the Ottawa Rough Riders win tonight, they've got 4th place in the East. If they lose and the Hamilton Ticats beat Saskatchewan, the Ticats are into the playoffs. The stats through the opening 30 minutes, and look at the penalties for the Ottawa Rough Riders. 11 for 119 yards and 2 turnovers. Those are the numbers that have killed the Ottawa Rough Riders all season long.
You're not going to win too many football games and you have big numbers like that.
Ottawa will open the second half with the ball and the wind as the Riders move from right to left. As you look at it, so does this very stiff wind here in Shreveport. And remember, we're expecting a major storm at about 11 o'clock local time tonight, which would be late in the 4th quarter. Bjorn Nitmo will kick it off for the Shreveport Pirates. Winners of 2 of their last 3. The Ottawa Rough Riders have lost 6 in a row. At this time last year, Ottawa had lost 5 straight. Nitmo, low tumbling kick. And it's taken by Michael Richardson up to the 53-yard line. So Richardson put in as an up back, expecting the shorter kickoff, gets Ottawa good field position for Danny Barrett. And Barrett had some decent numbers in the opening half, 8 of 13 for 84 yards and a touchdown. Mike Johnson, his former understudy with BC, just 5 of 15, but Johnson's team has a 15-point lead.
Take a look at the yardage. They're almost similar, 84 yards, 83 yards, but Mike Johnson seems to be going more for the big play, getting a couple pass interference calls. That's really been the difference.
And Barrett's offense has been destroyed by penalties. The Riders open the second half, 1st and 10 at their own 52-yard line. Here comes the blitz. Barrett gets it away, and Stephon Jones makes the catch. Jones stopped up at the 51-yard line. Cliff Baskerville makes the tackle after a gain of 7 yards.
And Shreveport come out once again with that big blitz, bringing 6 people. They're going to try and get in Danny Barrett's face. Takes a 3-step drop and hits Stephon Jones.
Asked Adam Reed about that today, if he expected Shreveport to come after the quarterback on every down. He said, nobody does that. And he stopped for a second. He said, well, except for us, of course. Second down, Richardson picks his way ahead and should be close to a 1st down. Greg Stuman makes the tackle, but Richardson crossed the 50 to about the 48-yard line. which is where he needed to be for an Ottawa first down.
I think he got the first down. A pretty good surge by the offensive line. They came out, want to reassert themselves, this Ottawa football team, in the second half.
You know what's interesting, Jamie, was talking to the Shreveport Pirates before this game, and they were saying the way this team is playing, they're so disappointed the season is ending because they went through so much for so long, and now they're just starting to play well. Barrett looking for Jones with Baskerville, and Baskerville climbs the ladder and makes a great defensive play. Cliff Baskerville from North Carolina got on his horse and took that out of the hands of Stephon Jones.
Chris Baskerville also played arena football for Albany, but plays this exceptionally well. Locates the football now, gets that left arm out, almost makes the interception.
Brings up a 2nd and 10 for Ottawa. Barrett rolling to his right. He's got 2 receivers deep, and that's where he's looking. Had a man, Mazzoli, and it went right through his hands. He was wide open. Anthony Shelton was a good 5 yards away, and Mazzoli, who has not had a pass thrown his way yet today, had it go through his fingers. And that's about 4 times tonight that Danny Barrett has had an open receiver drop the football.
Boy, that's really been the story of Ottawa's year right there. Just can't seem to finish things off, dropping passes right on your hand, right in their hands. Very frustrating. Not only for Nick Mazzoli, but I'm sure the rest of this Ottawa football team.
And again at the 47-yard line, Ottawa elects to punt rather than try a 54-yard field goal. Look at Baker take off as it opens up in front of him. Baker needs to get further ahead. He laterals it forward. The ball is loose and kicked out of bounds. And a solid defensive play was made by Shreveport's Johnny Scott. There is a flag on the play. That has to be illegal forward pass. Baker hesitated for a second and opened up wide open in front of him. But then Johnny Scott came up to make the stop. It's an illegal forward pass. Has to be against Ottawa.
So it'll be marked at where the pass took place. That's where it should be Shreveport's ball from that point.
What a break for the Pirates. Instead of punting with the wind, which would have hemmed the Pirates back deep in their own territory, the Bucks will get the ball back in great field position. And Johnny Scott made a nice job with the shoelace tackle on Ottawa's kicker.
Well, Johnny Scott was the only one looking at the punter. They had a return on. Everybody was hit for about a second, and they stop and they peel back trying to set up the wall, and Terry Baker held on to the ball, waited to see if everybody peeled, tried to make the first down, but Johnny Scott did a nice job of cutting him off. You see Mike Johnson saying, we want the ball right there, first down.
Yeah, it looks as though he'll get his wish as Bud Steen talks it over with the rest of his officiating crew. The referees as nervous as anyone on this final weekend of the season. They get their playoff assignments on Monday. And this year, it is on a merit system as judged by the CFL brass. So those officials who are deemed to have done the best job over the course of the regular season will get the playoff assignments. And the officials will find out on Monday who's working in the postseason and who will be watching.
Ottawa, number 10. The penalty is declined. It's Shreveport ball, first down.
Here's another look, Jamie.
Now let's take a look at it right here. These defensive linemen here, they're going to rush across, and they're all going to peel off down here. Baker's just going to watch, and then he's going to start to run. We see one guy, Johnny Scott. He's still looking into the backfield. Now, Terry Baker, I thought maybe could have outrun him to the sideline, but decided to stop, turn inside. Then he threw the ball up the field. That's an illegal forward pass.
Worst pass by a kicker since Garo Yepremian in the '72 Super Bowl. Urban Bowman, you see on the sideline, the defensive coordinator for the Ottawa Roughriders, talking over with Terry Baker. Rod?
Well, Gord, Jamie, you talk about how this could be the kind of night that could put some gray hairs in a coach's head. Certainly the case for Adam Rita. He's developed a bit of a trend. Better luck in odd-numbered years, bad luck in even-numbered years. You recall he coached the Argos to the Grey Cup in '91, ended up being fired in '92. The team missed the playoffs. Then he winds up in Edmonton in '93 as an assistant. Wins another Grey Cup. '94, you know the story.
He can't wait for 1995. First and 10 for the Pirates from their own 30-yard line. Here's Patton. His first carry of the second half, and Martin Patton has a pickup of about 5 as he gets to the 35-yard line. Martin Patton, another big back for the Shreveport Pirates, and the Pirates look for size, it would appear, as they recruited this season.
Well, Martin Patton, you said, played at Texas A&I, also played at University of Miami, and he said he was never so frustrated with playing here when they didn't win, especially coming from a program that won all the time.
He lost as many games in 3 weeks as he lost in his career at Miami. Johnson out to the flat. As his man, he dropped the ball. Lucas couldn't squeeze it. And David Lucas will head to the sidelines, and Forrest Gregg hates mistakes like that, and Lucas will be trying to avoid him on the Shreveport sideline. I was down on the sidelines last week in Toronto for the game between the Pirates and the Argos, and I got to tell you, Forrest Gregg got into it with a couple of his players. Forrest Gregg, they say, has mellowed somewhat, but not completely. He is still an old school head coach. Tanner's punt, taken by Mazzoli at the 40. Mazzoli looking for a block. It's outside and forced out of bounds at about midfield. And Ottawa, which ranks last in the league in punt return yardage, gets a good return from Nick Mazzoli and will open this drive right at about midfield, trailing the Shreveport Pirates by 15 in the third quarter. They say the difference between a good haircut and a bad haircut's about 3 weeks. It might be a little longer in Glenn Kulka's case. You know, the Ottawa Rough Riders had a rough flight into Shreveport yesterday. Their plane bounced around in the high winds. And then at the hotel today, there was a misunderstanding between the front desk and the team. The front desk thought the team would be checking out at noon. And someone came to Glenn Kulka's door and tried to kick him out. He said, it'll take an awful big chambermaid to get me out of my room before 5. But the Riders are chartering out of here at midnight local time and dreading the bad weather that's coming from the north here in Shreveport. Right now, the Ottawa Rough Riders are moving to the north. First and 10 from midfield. Danny Barrett's under pressure. And he gets it away just as the Shreveport defender, Ray Savage, got a hand on him, and the ball slides out of bounds. Ray Savage, who forced the fumble that resulted in the touchdown by Alex Mash in the first half.
And Ray Savage does a very good job here of reading there. It looked like they were going to run counter trap where they bring both guard and tackle from the backside. They fake it again, and Danny Barrett comes out here naked. No offensive lineman to give him a hand. See Savage tracks him down, shows pretty good speed. 7 sacks this season, almost had number 8.
Now second and 10. Riders just on their own side of midfield. Here comes the pressure again. Barrett just gets it away. And the pass is too far for Stephon Jones. There's a flag down at the 40-yard line. There was all kinds of contact. James Ellingson was involved. So was Stephon Jones, and Shreveport's claiming it was a pick play run by Ottawa.
Well, you see also what Joe Fuller is saying, that the ball was tipped. He thinks the ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. If that's the case, hey, there should be no pass interference at all. But that's not what the officials have decided.
It's illegal contact against the Shreveport Pirates.
And you see, I think what Fuller sees is that the ball wasn't thrown very well, and that was because of the pressure on Danny Barrett.
Illegal contact. Eligible receiver, number 23, Shreveport, 10-yard penalty. First down.
The safety, Anthony Shelton, is called for illegal contact downfield. It'll give the Ottawa Rough Riders a first down at the 45-yard line.
But he was trying to sell the official when the ball wasn't thrown very well. It looked like it might have been tipped, and that's why Fuller was pleading the case for Anthony Shelton.
11:18 to play, third quarter. Ottawa trails by 15. Danny Barrett, quarterback draw, has room, and Barrett gets a block. The 35 across the 30. Barrett tiptoeing up the sideline, goes out at the 27-yard line. And one of Danny Barrett's favorite plays wherever he's been has been that quarterback draw, and he runs it well there.
And what a great block by Dean Noel, the fullback for Ottawa. Danny Barrett 2 steps back, bang, cuts off to the left side, and Dean Noel comes right up, makes a nice block right there. Danny Barrett does a nice job. Second leading rusher in this football team. Tells you the kind of year they've had running the football with all the injuries.
A pickup of 18 yards there gives Ottawa a first down at the Shreveport 26-yard line. Barrett out to the flat. Richardson's wide open. Check that, Dean Noel. And Noel is inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Corus Irvin and Daniel Hunter make the stop. It's another Ottawa first down, and the Riders will be first and goal at the 9. And this Ottawa offense, which had sputtered in parts of the second quarter, now springs to life, and the Riders know they need some offensive production, and now.
Danny Barrett's doing a very nice job of taking care of that blitz. He realizes they're coming with a lot of pressure, takes that 3-step drop, dumps it off to his back, Dean Noel.
First and goal from the 9. Barrett tries the quarterback draw again and gets down to the 4-yard line, a pickup of 5. This time Reggie Rogers sniffed it out and brought the Ottawa quarterback down before he could get to the end zone. Now you can get all those awkward distances. Second and goal from the 5. For a team that runs the ball fairly well, as Ottawa does, maybe the run's the call here.
I think what they're going to do is try and get outside, give Danny Barrett an option.
Here comes Barrett to his right. You called it, Jamie. He's throwing to the end zone. He's got Noel. Touchdown, his second of the game. Dean Noel with his second touchdown catch of the football game, and Adam Rita's team is battling back.
This has really been Dean Noel's drive. Through a nice block for Danny Barrett when he ran the quarterback draw. Reception earlier to get them down close to the end zone. Now Danny Barrett rolling out. You can see nobody on Dean Noel. Actually, the closest guy to him was Ray Savage. He's a defensive end. That's not the match you want.
And the point after is good by Terry Baker. The Ottawa Rough Riders now trail this game by 8, 22-14, with 9:36 to play in the third quarter. Dean Noel, a big part of the story for the Eastern Rough Riders.
Double B.
Dean Noel lines up to the right side, and over him is Ray Savage, number 96, a defensive end. You can see he tries to hold him up and then release, but nobody has Dean Noel. Makes it look easy.
It's been anything but that for the Ottawa Rough Riders tonight and this evening, but Noel gets his second touchdown of the football game, and the Ottawa Rough Riders come up with an impressive scoring march, one the Riders desperately needed. Scoring drive, 5 plays, 55 yards, aided by a big illegal contact penalty down to about the 30-yard line. And Dean Noel caps it off from 5 yards out. Terry Baker with a knuckleball that bounces to about the 15-yard line. Lucas has it go by him again, and we'll see if he elects to bring it out this time. He still can't find the handle, and he's going to bring it out. And he got to the 1. Did he get out? Why on earth would anyone bring it out from the end zone?
Forrest Gregg doesn't understand either.
We saw this last week twice for the Shreveport Pirates. I can't believe it's anything but instructions from the bench.
Well, the only thing that he might have been thinking of, obviously, is that it's an 8-point lead right now and doesn't want to give them that point that a converted touchdown ties it up. But no. When you have the wind in your face, you don't want to be starting your drives from your own 1-yard line.
Well, Forrest Gregg has the headset off. Kind of a stunned look on his face on the Shreveport sideline. This is somewhat surprising, and you can see the wind that the Shreveport Pirates are trying to work against. Now 1st and 10 from their own 1.5-yard line. Mike Johnson wasn't afraid to throw last time. He's coming up gunning here again. In his end zone has a man, and Butch Hadnot fights his way out of bounds at about the 12-yard line, close to a Shreveport first down.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was a very nice move by Butch Hadnot against one of the best linebackers in the CFL, Greg Battle. Gets out here one-on-one with Battle, and he wins it. Gets outside, turns it up the field for the first down.
That's a gutsy call, because that completion was made with Hadnot still in the end zone. And it was a first down, a pickup of 11 yards. 1st and 10 for the Pirates from their own 12. Johnson guns it almost, had it intercepted, and the pass goes incomplete. He was looking over there for Lucas, but Greg Battle jumped up. Although Battle would be hard-pressed to make that interception with a broken bone in his right hand.
But he almost got his hand on to knock it away. All he's doing is looking at Mike Johnson. And when Johnson looks over to his right, he's just firing out there instantly, getting his hands up, trying to distract him, almost knocked the ball away.
You know, it's interesting that some of the Shreveport players were noting, as you see the big cast of the right hand of Greg Battle, that last week late in the game when the Pirates came back against the Argos, the headsets were out of the Shreveport sideline. Johnson called his own plays and was quite effective. Here he is back to throw. He's looking deep. And the pass is well over the head of the intended receiver. He was looking over there for the slot back Charles Thompson, but Thompson was double covered, and Johnson wants a pass interference penalty. Or did he think someone ran the wrong route?
I think that's what he's talking. He's talking to Lloyd Hill, because they had both receivers streaking down the sidelines within about 5 or 6 yards of one another. Emmanuel Martin, the corner, comes off of his man, and you can see Mike Johnson not very pleased with how the routes are being run by his receivers.
So now the Pirates will punt from their own end zone as Aaron Canner is backed up. And this time, not a good kick. It bounces at the 35-yard line. Gets a bit of a roll, but Mazzoli doesn't pick it up until it rolls back to the 50, then takes a couple of steps back and gets driven back. He fumbled the football. He fumbled the ball. Who has it? The Pirates say it's theirs. And the officials say it's Ottawa's. What a break for the Ottawa Rough Riders. Mazzoli let the ball bounce around at about the 35-yard line. Ottawa will get it at midfield, but Adam Rita's team got away with one there, Jamie.
I'll tell you, they sure did, because number 34, Ron Perry for Shreveport, comes up, makes a great hit. First things first, get the ball in the air. Don't let it bounce. Look how far back it goes. Now, he tries to run back. No, go forward. Now he turns around here, watch this hit. Bang, right there. The ball pops out. Lucky to get that ball back. I believe it was Scott. Mark Scott, who got it from back for Ottawa.
First and 10, draw play. Michael Richardson gets 5 down to the 50.
Richardson, the ball carrier.
Well, again, same situation as the first half. The decision by Lucas to bring the ball out of the end zone has cost the Shreveport Pirates a lot of field position. Both times, the Ottawa Rough Riders began possessions at midfield or in Shreveport territory. Barrett to the flat, one-hopped it. He was looking over there for Stephon Jones. And that will bring up a third down situation. There is a flag on the play. And it's against the Shreveport Pirates.
Illegal contact on an eligible receiver, number 14, Shreveport. It's first down, Ottawa.
Corus Irvin is called for illegal contact downfield. And the Shreveport Pirates, who have benefited from a number of calls against the Ottawa Rough Riders, get hurt by one here as the Riders get it first and 10 at the 41. First down, early movement. Barrett. Tipped up by Fuller. Did he make the interception? Yes. Shreveport ball at the 29-yard line. What a play by defensive back Joe Fuller. His 8th interception of the season. Tipped it up in the air and then grabbed it quickly, and the Ottawa drive is snuffed out.
Okay, Danny Barrett's looking right in here, but here's Fuller right there, and he's going to tip the ball. It's one hand up, tips it, but falls. Ellingson kind of gives up on it, doesn't know where the ball is, but what a great play by Joe Fuller.
Stay tuned on the conclusion of today's game for the TSN Turning Point, brought to you by Sony, the new V-Series Trinitron. First and 10 Pirates, and the give goes to Ryan Benjamin, and Benjamin scrambles his way up to the 38-yard line. It's a gain of 8 yards. Let's go to the sidelines for a report from Rod Smith.
Thank you, Gord. That was the 8th interception we pointed out for Joe Fuller. He was one of the guys to come over from the Ottawa Rough Riders when the Gleberman acquired the team. You heard a lot about Reggie Barnes and Greg Stuman. Not a lot about Joe Fuller. Last week against the Argos, 2 key interceptions to help set up some points. He's certainly contributed.
And a big interception here to snuff out an Ottawa drive. And Ottawa had only thrown 14 interceptions coming into this game, best in the league. Benjamin needs the 40-yard line. He's stopped up short as David Benefield comes up to make the stop. And it'll bring up a third and about a yard, depending on where they spot it. He may be close enough to the first down marker if they spot it up near the 40. And this is close enough for a measurement. David Benefield, the man you saw a moment ago, he's playing out his option for the Ottawa Rough Riders and having a big year defensively. 10 sacks, 4 fumble recoveries coming into this game. And Adam Rita said it when he talked to us today at lunch that the most important priority for him right now is getting David Benefield re-signed.
Well, Ottawa really has the makings of a fine linebacking core, of course, with Alfred Smith, Jesse Small, and David Benefield. And Adam Rita knows that it's consistency with your people, making sure your defense is stable. Now watch Battle here. He comes in, thinks he has him. Watch this, just grabs air, a little bit over pursuit on his behalf. And Greg Battle kind of sat there for a little while, looked at him, and just kind of shook his head.
And Benjamin has the first down just for the Shreveport Pirates at their own 39-yard line. It's Benjamin again on the carry, and he pulls his way ahead. Battle came up to stop him up initially. Derek McCready makes the final tackle. But Benjamin has another good pickup, 8 yards up to the 48-yard line.
the reason why this works so well, again, they pull guard and tackle from the backside. They run that counter is you have people like Jesse Small, who really wants to work hard in the pass rush, gets up the field, and they kick him out. They pull the tackle through, and Benjamin just follows him.
Brings up a 2nd and short for the Pirates. 5:15 to play in the 3rd quarter. Benjamin trying to do it all here. This time he will not get it done. Great play by the Ottawa defense. John Kropke made the tackle. There's a flag at the end. They may call Greg Battle for piling on, and that is the call against the Ottawa Rough Riders. Instead of snuffing him for a 4-yard loss, it will be a Shreveport 1st down. Here's the call from Bud Steen.
Piling. Ottawa, number 48. 1st down, Shreveport.
The call is against David Benefield. 15 yards, 1st down Riders.
It's a nice play. Look, a nice swim move by Kropke. Gets in the backfield. A little bit of face mask to there. The right here is where the penalty comes in, right there. Actually, that's a good call. He's down.
And he led with his head, which will quite often draw the call. There is an injured Ottawa Rough Rider on the play. The penalty moves the Pirates down to the 43-yard line. Sorry, the 47-yard line, 1st down. And look at the penalties for the Ottawa Rough Riders. 13 for 134 for the team that came into this game as the 2nd most penalized team in the league.
Maybe after today's game, they will be the most penalized team this year. This is incredible.
Give the BC Lions a run for their money. Glenn Kulka is the Ottawa Rough Rider down on the play. 2nd time he's been down in this football game. And again, they're checking his left arm, which has been a problem for him all season long. Kulka suffered a very painful injury a couple of years ago, a torn bicep muscle, which takes a very long time to heal. It took him a good 8-9 months to rehab it in the offseason. Now he's up. And again, you see him favoring that left arm. So Kulka, with the Mohawk hairdo, makes his way off the field with the assistance of Jerry Kurlowich, the athletic therapist, who you see on the left of your screen.
What's incredible, you know, Gord, he's played 9 years in the middle nose tackle, getting blocked by centers, by guards down on him and everything else. To last that long is truly incredible.
1st down at the 47. Johnson, deep drop and a deep throw. He's looking for Benjamin. He's got it. Down inside the 15-yard line, forced out of bounds at the 12, Ryan Benjamin. He's been a one-man show on this drive, and a huge gain there, 35 yards for a Shreveport 1st down.
Well, they get the matchup with David Benefield, linebacker downfield, and you can see that Benefield can't cover Ryan Benjamin. Nice job by Mike Johnson to find the mismatch. Yes.
Now 1st and 10 for the Pirates at the Ottawa 12-yard line. The Pirates looking to answer the Ottawa scoring march to the end zone. And Lucas tipped around and incomplete. Andre Francis was right there with him. And David Lucas can't make the grab. And Johnson awaits the call from the sidelines, but he was looking for it all right there, Jamie.
He's got good protection back here. Johnson puts it up high, and what he looks for is that Andre Francis's back is to him. So he feels, hey, there's no chance of it being picked off. I can throw the ball up. I can allow Lucas to try and make the play.
2nd and 10. Johnson over the middle.
Johnson's pass is complete.
He's got Walker, and Walker is close to a 1st down. Walker's brought down at about the 3-yard line. They'll actually mark it closer to the 4, and they need a yard for the 1st down. The crowd chanting for Forrest Gregg to go for it. And Forrest Gregg sends out his field goal unit.
I think this is a good call by Forrest Gregg. You're only up by 8 right now. If you get the field goal, this makes it 11, of course. Got all the momentum going your way. Don't give Ottawa anything right now.
And remember that this drive was into the wind. Shreveport will have the wind for the 4th quarter. Sharp angle for Bjorn Nitmo. The field goal attempt comes from the 11. Nitmo puts it up and through, and his team now has an 11-point lead with 3:35 to play in the third quarter. The Shreveport Pirates answer Ottawa's touchdown march with a field goal. We'll return to Independence Stadium in Shreveport, Louisiana on the CFL Live right after this. Welcome back to a muggy night in Shreveport. Muggy would not describe the two defining games of Forrest Gregg's career. The 1967 NFL Championship, the second coldest game ever played. The 1981 AFC Championship, the coldest. He was involved in both, one as a player and one as a coach. Would have glad for this heat and humidity. Danny Barrett feeling the heat here and off and running. Barrett trying to reverse his field, but he gets stacked up on the play. And staying with him step for step was Eldonta Osborne, the linebacker, who stopped Danny Barrett after a gain of, call it 3. So Barrett decided to take off on the play, and Eldonta Osborne stayed right with him.
I think Danny Barrett didn't think that Eldonta Osborne had that kind of speed because he was caught way inside, but certainly did a nice job tracking him down.
Oh, all kinds of offside there. Osborne, the man who made the tackle on the last play, jumped through the Ottawa offensive line and claims he was drawn off, as most defensive players do.
Offside, 46, Shreveport, second down.
So it's 5 free ones for the Ottawa Rough Riders, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 4 from Ottawa's own 42-yard line. On 2nd down, here's Barrett. Fakes the draw to Richardson, rolling out, throws it to the flat. Dean Noel has it and has an Ottawa first down. Brought down at the 48-yard line. Tackle on the play by the corner, Carlton Johnson, but not before Noel, who's been the go-to guy for Ottawa, gets another first down. Rod?
Well, guys, you can be sure the Ottawa Rough Riders are pretty sick about what's happening here tonight. No sicker than Glenn Kulka. It's not so much the arm, it's nausea. He's been sick to his stomach twice. The training staff says he should be okay.
See, they tried to kick him out of the hotel today, and they got him sick. 1st and 10 for the Riders from their own 48. Barrett, lots of time. Throws to Jones. Cliff Baskerville is with him every step of the way and limits the gain to 7 as Jones is brought down right at midfield. Jones has been unable to get away from the tight coverage of Cliff Baskerville, the rookie out of North Carolina.
Well, they're doing a nice job on Shreveport's defense. They're playing man underneath, zone on top. See Baskerville's one-on-one with Stephon Jones. They'll give him that. They'll give him that 6 yards.
2nd and 4. Barrett looking for Jones again, going deep for Mazzoli, and the pass tipped away from him. Great coverage on the play by Joe Fuller, who had an interception earlier in this half. And again, the Ottawa Rough Riders will be forced to punt.
You can see why guys like Joe Fuller come down with a lot of interceptions, because he has such great hands. Locates the ball, gets his hands up right in between Mazzoli's 2 hands and knocks it away.
And the funny thing is, he never looked back, it seemed. Just kind of reached in, saw where the receiver was reaching, just reached between his hands and timed it perfectly. Terry Baker, the punt. Lucas and Smith are back deep. Here's a good kick by Baker. Drives Lucas back to the 5. Flags are down, and Lucas is tripped up at the 13-yard line. A 51-yard punt by Terry Baker, and a return of 8 yards by David Lucas. And we'll see what the flag's about. Illegal block against Shreveport, so back go the Pirates.
Illegal block, number 24, Shreveport on the run back. Restricted penalty, first down.
Pretty good battle between Mark Scott, and you can see Shelton doing a nice job going down the field, mixing it up.
This is just not how I want to make a living.
Wow, I think Scott got the better of...
We'll give him a 15th round decision there at the end of that one. The Bucks backed up to their own 6, 1st and 10. Johnson throwing over the top, has it intercepted by Brett Young. That ball hung up in the wind, and Young out of bounds at the 23-yard line. And is intercepted for the Ottawa Rough Riders, and the Riders get a break and have the ball deep in Shreveport territory as Brett Young comes up with his 3rd interception of the season.
Well, Mike Johnson's looking down to Wayne Walker, who does an out. This is a ball that just gets away from him, overthrows it high. Brett Young does a nice job of going up high in the air, coming down with a catch, and into the kicking net.
But the grab that mattered is the grab he made. You see Mike Johnson again talking to his receivers on the sideline, and that time getting into it with Wayne Walker. So the battling Bucks, perhaps the bickering Bucks on the sidelines, and Danny Barrett trying to take advantage of Ottawa's first turnover. There is Barrett looking to the end zone, has a man, and he has a touchdown. Nick Mazzoli on the first play after the turnover, a 23-yard touchdown reception by Nick Mazzoli, his 2nd touchdown catch of the season. And just like that, after Shreveport turned the ball over for the first time, the Ottawa Rough Riders take advantage.
Well, the key here is Danny Barrett has lots of time. Mazzoli goes down, works in the end zone against Shelton, and then he cuts back inside, and Barrett puts the ball right on the numbers.
And Nick Mazzoli has a souvenir. And the Ottawa Rough Riders, battling for their playoff lives, are battling back in this football game. The point after by Baker is good, and the Shreveport lead is now down to 4. 25-11, the Pirates lead with 12 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Well, the Ottawa Rough Riders had to wait a while to get it. It took about 44 minutes on the clock for the Riders to get their first turnover, and now they're right back in the game. Danny Barrett's an interesting study on the Ottawa bench, a guy who everyone that plays with him says is a fierce leader no matter what the score is, and here he directs his team in a one-play drive.
So we talk about the protection that Danny Barrett has. See the time he has back there, and he steps up, he waits, steps up, allows Nick Mazzoli to get by.
We talked about Jim Mills with those 2 penalties on the same series in the first half. Great blocking by Mills there to give time for his quarterback. Danny Barrett, who has turned in some impressive Grey Cup performances. You might remember the 1987 game for Toronto when he came in place of Gilbert Renfro and played one of the great Grey Cup games ever played. In 1991, took the Calgary Stampeders to the Grey Cup, only to lose to his old team, the Toronto Argonauts. Now his team trails by 4. 12 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. This is Lucas from the 5. And he cannot get away from one Ottawa Rough Rider. Andrew Thomas went one-on-one with Lucas, and Thomas wins that confrontation. And the Shreveport Pirates get the ball back, and for 7 more seconds, will have to work into the wind. But in the 4th quarter, we'll have the breeze at their back.
Sorry, Goy, that's a nice job in special teams. Stay in your lane, run down, control, under control. Let the ball carrier come to you.
Now, if you're the Pirates, the clock is running down here. You might want to just let the clock run down here as the Pirates do, and now run out the quarters so that you can start the 4th with the win. This is Butch Hadnot, the fullback on the carry. Greg Battle stacks him up as he got to the 30 for a gain of 5. That's the final play of the 3rd quarter. The Shreveport Pirates still lead. They've led from the start. It's 25-21. We're heading for the 4th quarter. Ottawa's last chance at a playoff spot. Back in Louisiana for the 4th quarter on the CFL Live. The Shreveport Pirates lead the Ottawa Rough Riders 25-21 in a game the Ottawa Rough Riders must win to clinch a playoff spot. Shreveport has not trailed in the football game. And here, have it 2nd and 5.5 from their own 29-yard line. Mike Johnson to the shotgun. Here comes the blitz from Ottawa. Johnson trying to get away and cannot. He's buried on the play by Derek McCready as the early pressure got to him. Alfred Smith got in to check him up early, and then it was finished off.
And that's what they want to do when they blitz those linebackers. They want to force Mike Johnson to step up and allow the defensive linemen like Derek McCready and John Kropke and Kolka to make the tackle, and that's exactly what happened.
Unlike the Ottawa Rough Riders, Mike Johnson knows his season will end today. We'll talk about his plans in a moment. The first turnover of the game of the Shreveport Pirates cost them dearly as Ottawa converted for a touchdown. And now the punt by Canner, who just gets it away, and Mazzoli takes it at the 48. Goes backwards at first, trying to get back to the original place he caught the ball and gets maybe 3 yards. Daniel Hunter comes over the top to make the stop. Just to finish the thought on Mike Johnson, we were mentioning that Danny Barrett and the Ottawa Roughriders aren't sure when their season will end. Mike Johnson knows that his will end tonight. He's heading back to Los Angeles on Sunday to teach school at his old high school in Eastern LA.
Well, he told us a great story yesterday how he was recruited by Jerry Faust at Notre Dame. Did not go there initially, went to Arizona State, I believe.
Yeah, ended up in Akron.
Akron with Jerry Faust.
Danny Barrett now 14 of 24 for 3 touchdowns in the game. Another would put his team ahead. Draw play. Richardson gets out across midfield into Shreveport territory at about the 54-yard line for a pickup of 4. It's been a frustrating season for Michael Richardson in a game we did on TSN. He tore his quadricep muscle, no one within 10 yards of him. Tough injury to come back from, and the outstanding rookie from '92, the 2-time CFL rushing champion, has spent all year trying to get that burst back that he had the last couple of years.
And what else he really gives his team is his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield.
2nd and 6, just inside the Shreveport side of midfield. Here comes the blitz. Barrett gets it away quickly and gets it ahead to Dean Noel. Noel jukes his way for a first down as he tackled the 47. Daniel Hunter makes the stop. There's a flag down at the Shreveport 50. The gain was 7. And the flag was dropped in error, so it'll be a first down for the Ottawa Roughriders at the Shreveport 46. Ottawa moving into the win with 13 to go in the 4th quarter. Three receivers to the top of your screen. Barrett, quarterback draw. Worked once, but the last couple of times it's been stacked up. That time he was tripped up by Reggie Rogers, number 77. And he got a gain of 4.
Well, the reason Danny Barrett decides to call his own number is he sees the linebackers for Shreveport, Greg Stuhlman and Witherspoon, they get outside trying to cover man coverage against Dean Noel and, of course, Michael Richardson. There's no linebackers in the middle. He thinks if he can get that defensive line working up the field and find a seam, it could be big yardage.
Big down for the Ottawa Roughriders, 2nd and 6. Here comes the pressure, and Barrett is buried. Nobody blocked Ben Williams, and he hunted down the Ottawa quarterback and dropped him on the Ottawa side of midfield.
Ben Williams, number 64, goes between the gap between James Monroe, the center, and Chris Gioscas, the guard, untouched.
And now the loss of 12 yards means Terry Baker must punt from his own side of midfield. It's a high kick away and just hits the wall. Smith from his 24, got a block. Looking for another and does not get it. Good special teams play by David Benefield. The Shreveport Pirates, with the lead, have the ball at their own 23-yard line after the big defensive play by that man, Ben Williams. After this game, Jamie Bone jumps on the Ottawa Roughrider charter, heads back home because he's got to get to Saskatoon, Saskatchewan tomorrow for the Canada West Football Championship, 2 Eastern, 11 o'clock Pacific. Jamie Bone and Michael Landsberg will have the call. I have to get on a flight that makes several stops and finally gets me to Vancouver because I want to be on the sidelines tomorrow night to see the Calgary Stampeders bust a bunch of CFL records, they think, against the BC Lions. 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific, and yes, our stats maven David Moyer will make the journey as well as we see many parts of the southern, southwestern, western, and northwestern United States. There are no direct flights from Shreveport to Vancouver, we discovered. 1st and 10 for the Pirates now from their own 23-yard line, leading by 4 with 11.5 to play. Johnson's under pressure, gets away, and has a man open, almost intercepted by Andre Francis, who stepped in front of the intended target for Shreveport, Lloyd Hill.
And this is where Andre Francis' experience comes in. He baits Michael Johnson here, gives him, no, he has to throw the ball a long way, kind of gives him that room and says, I dare you to throw it.
And of course, Andre's problem is he doesn't have enough stuff on, otherwise he would have made the catch. Shin pads on, gloves, long sleeves, mouth guard. On second down, Johnson from the shotgun. Here comes the Ottawa blitz. Picked up well, and it is incomplete. He was looking for Charles Thompson, but the pass was too low as Johnson rushed his throw.
See the kind of competitor that Mike Johnson is, very intense.
Johnson's become something of a football nomad in the last few years. He caught on with the BC Lions, played well for them, but then they signed Danny McManus as a free agent. So he went on to Saskatchewan, but was subsequently let go. The punt by Canner, taken by Mazzoli at the 50, and he is dropped right there by Cliff Baskerville. A punt of 37 yards, and some pushing and shoving after the play, and look who's involved. David Benefield, one of the more vocal Ottawa Rough Riders, had something to say to Daniel Hunter. Dave Benefield had one of the great lines. I was on the sidelines for a game in Edmonton. Benefield said, the guy came in to make a play late. They always accuse a guy of trying to get on the game film, and he said, hey, if you want to get on the film, buy a camera.
Now this is a problem for Shreveport. Look, Chris Baskerville, the corner, is down with an injury.
And Shreveport is not deep at defensive back.
Well, Daniel Hunter, he's the backup safety. I would assume we would see William Evers, the backup corner, coming in for Baskerville.
Well, we have a moment. Let's take you through the CFL award finalists announced yesterday. The outstanding player nominee for the East is Mike Pringle, the running back from Baltimore. Sacramento must be sick about that after letting him go in the preseason. Doug Flutie looking for his unprecedented 4th consecutive MVP award. No one's ever won 4, never mind 4 in a row. And you'd have to think that Mr. Flutie would be the odds-on favorite.
You can pick a couple of guys from that team from Calgary. Alan Pitts, of course, the kind of year that he had.
Top Canadian, Gerald Wilcox from the Bombers, and Larry Ruck, the veteran for the Edmonton Eskimos, the linebacker against the slotback. Top defensive player, Tim Cofield of the Hamilton Ticats. Another great year for him and an underrated Hamilton defense. Willie Bless, everyone knows about the Terminator. Portanesh for the Offensive Lineman Award in the East from Baltimore. And Rocco Romano, the long overlooked Rocco Romano, is the West nominee for the Outstanding Offensive Lineman. Linebacker Matt Goodwin is the Rookie of the Year from the East for Baltimore, and kicker Carlos Huerta from Las Vegas is the Western nominee for the Rookie of the Year award. And Baskerville looks to be fairly seriously shaken up. And now decision time for the Shreveport Pirates. I believe Corus Irvin will move to the corner. Irvin has played the corner before for Hamilton and Toronto.
That's what they've done. They brought in Daniel Hunter, who is their nickel back. He'll play safety as they move Shelton over as well to halfback.
And Ottawa burned Corus Irvin for a touchdown at Skydome last year late in the football game. I wonder if they think about that. Right now they go to the ground. Michael Richardson fights his way up close to midfield. The tackle made by Reggie Rogers, who got in his face right away. Calling a pickup of 4 yards. Big Reggie Rogers. This is a load of a defensive line. The Ottawa linemen talking about how big these guys are and how much push they get. Most CFL teams opt for the smaller, quick guys, but Shreveport went for the big people. 2nd and 6 from midfield. Barrett has pressure, has a man. Noel, he's got a ways to go, but he is collared. Tackle on the play by linebacker Ron Perry, who brought Noel down well short of the first down.
Talking about how they've let Noel out of the backfield escape a few times. Not this time. Ron Perry wraps him up, stops him short of the first down, forces Ottawa into a punting situation. And you can see he's all fired up from that Grambling band because that's where he went to school at Grambling.
Baker to kick into the wind. Irvin's got to hustle to get off the field, and he just does. Baker, as the wind gusts up, as this kick bounced down at the 25-yard line. The Pirates try to pick it up. Flags are down, and they managed to get it back just in time. Daniel Hunter, no yards, will be the call against the Ottawa Rough Riders. So the Shreveport Pirates clinging to a 4-point lead with 9:41 to play in the fourth quarter. They'll try to get Cliff Baskerville healthy and try to chew up some time on the clock when we come back. Welcome back to Shreveport. Nothing new for the Ottawa Rough Riders, a team that came into this game averaging just 5 points in the first quarter of this season. Held off the sheet in the opening quarter of this game, but the Riders have come back with a couple of touchdowns in the third, trail this game by 4. Ottawa must win the game to clinch a playoff spot. There's a bunch of guys watching in Hamilton at Wally Satilni's place who are hoping the Shreveport Pirates can pull off a 3rd win in the final 4 weeks of the season. The Pirates have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 34-yard line. Clock running at 9:35 to play, and Shreveport would dearly love to take lots of time off it. Here's a guy we haven't seen for a while, Martin Patton on the carry. Not much doing there as Greg Battle came up to make the stop with some help from David Benefield.
And David Benefield played that very, very well. Did not get very deep. Again, they like to run the counter, pull the guard and tackle. Greg Battle playing that middle linebacker spot. Reads it, comes underneath the block of Butch Hadnot, wraps him up.
No gain on the play, 2nd and 10, Shreveport. Johnson, lots of time. Flags are down, and the pass is incomplete. Looks like holding is the call against the Pirates. The pass was intended for David Lucas. Now, if you're Ottawa, what do you do here? I might like the 10 yards on the punt.
No, I think he declined it. They'll give him another chance.
Shreveport. Penalty decline. 3rd down.
Ottawa wants the ball back right away. Aaron Cantor will punt with the win. Michael Johnson has been frustrated in the second half.
See, again, they bring Benefield, they bring Greg Battle. Yeah, that's quite a hold. We see how Benefield helps his case. He turns his body sideways. There's not much to block. He's hand in on him.
Oh, and Cantor boomed this. And Mazzoli has it get away from him at the 25-yard line. Finally picks it up at the 10 and is now heading upfield. And he gets pushed out of bounds by Butch Hadnot. He gets out of the 25-yard line. A 64-yard punt and a return of 14. The net is 50 yards for Cantor. And Cantor came into the game with the worst punting average in the league. The worst punting net average. That's punting average yards minus the average return yards.
Well, actually, Keith Jack back there misjudges it, doesn't catch it in the air, lets it bounce, and then he...
And Cliff Baskerville back on the corner for the Shreveport Pirates. So we'll see if they go after him right away.
I would right now. I'd go right after him.
Stephon Jones is lined up to that side. Barrett under pressure. He gets away from the first man, throws it now, and it is well out of bounds. Adam Rita was the closest Ottawa Rough Rider to that football. And the crowd hollering for an intentional grounding penalty. And so is Dan Daniel, the veteran defensive coordinator with the Shreveport Pirates. Dan Daniel, a former assistant with those great Edmonton teams for 5 in a row in Edmonton. And in his first year with Shreveport, he wants intentional grounding here.
Danny Bear was looking to throw backside anyway. And
ooh, he was close to down. Did his knee touch there?
I don't think so. The ball did, but not the knee. And then he takes the big shot from Reggie Rogers.
I know his knee touched Reggie Rogers. 2nd and 10 for Ottawa. Long way to go. Under 8 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Here's Barrett. Jones working on Baskerville, close to the sideline, and has the catch for a first down at the Ottawa 40-yard line. So Jamie, 2 throws, and twice they go after Cliff Baskerville.
It's a smart move. They put all the receivers to the right side, and they isolate Stephon Jones and Baskerville.
And look at Baskerville limping.
Really favoring that right leg. I didn't think he would come back into the football game the way he kind of was taken off. Looked like he was really having some serious problems. You can see he's not putting any weight on there.
Stephon Jones, maybe 34 years of age, he can still fly. And he's lined up against Baskerville again.
They put 3 receivers down to the right side at the bottom of the screen.
Looking for man-to-man coverage on the backside. Here they go looking for Jones on Baskerville. He's wide open at the 50-yard line. And coming back to help with the tackle is Ron Perry, but I gotta think that Ottawa will keep going after Baskerville as long as he gives Jones that much cushion.
And especially how they're doing it in terms of the formation. They're putting all the receivers to the right. They're just isolating Stephon Jones against Baskerville. You can see the kind of cushion Baskerville's giving Stephon Jones.
Gain of 23 on the play. First down Ottawa at the Shreveport 42, and Baskerville is coming off the field now. So Corus Irvin moves back to the corner for Shreveport. Damage control by the Pirates. 3 receivers to the near side. That's where Barrett's going, over the middle. And the catch is made by James Ellingson, who gets down to the 35-yard line. Gain of 8 on the play. And the second catch of the night for James Ellingson.
Well, they certainly weren't going to allow Chris Baskerville to continue to play and give the kind of cushion to Stephon Jones, so they moved Corus Irvin outside.
Picked up 7 on the play. It's 2nd and 3.
Greg Stuhlman looking to the sidelines, trying to get the defensive signals.
.6:23 to play now in the 4th quarter, and the Shreveport Pirates, who have not trailed this football game, lead by 4. Big second down play here. On the ground to Richardson. Flags are down. Richardson's close to a first down, but stopped short by Ron Perry. Well, if this penalty is against the Ottawa Rough Riders, this is another huge call that will go against them. And Bud's having an argument with one of his fellow officials. And we'll see what the call is. First of all, they're going to measure and see if he got the first down.
Now, I think what he's saying is that the infraction might have taken place after the first down was gained.
So first you have to establish whether or not the first down was made, and then you can go from there. He's a yard short.
And I think a lot depends on whether or not Shreveport will take the penalty based on it being now 3rd down.
Here's the call from Bud Steen.
There was no infraction on the play. It's 3rd down.
Oh, there was no penalty. All that for nothing. So it's 3rd and a yard.
Gut check time for Adam Rita. Forrest Gregg.
They've got too many men on the field. Now they don't have enough. Hurry back. They've got to get Ray Savage back in the defensive formation. Shreveport's got to call timeout here. Oh, looked like a fire drill on the Shreveport sideline. At one point they had 14 guys on the field, then 10. Oof.
Well, Fuller was on the field, and then he came off with Ray Savage. And they were telling Ray Savage to get back out there, but the gate was already up, and that's the linesman. Sticks his hands up, and Ray Savage was not allowed to go back in the game, and wisely they called the timeout.
So rather than have way too many or way too few, Shreveport calls timeout. We'll take 1-2 with 6:05 to play in the 4th quarter, and the Pirates leading by 4. 25-21 the score for the Shreveport Pirates, leading the Ottawa Rough Riders. Shreveport right in the thick of the race for the final playoff spot in the East Division. If Forrest Gregg's team can come up with a victory in this game, the door is open for the Hamilton Ticats to come up with the final playoff spot. And what a humiliation it would be for Adam Rita's team, not only to lose 7 straight at the end of the year, but to lose the 7th to Lonnie Gleaverman's team. 3rd and a yard from the Pirates' 33-yard line. Offside, Ottawa. The right side of the line move, Barrett's off and running, but play has been called, and I'm sure the Ottawa right side moved early. Oh, and it is against Ottawa. Another crushing penalty.
Illegal procedure. 54, Ottawa, 3rd down repeated.
Irv Damon is called for illegal procedure. Lined up as a tight end, Jamie.
Now Irv Damon normally is a center, but he's lined up here. Watch, he just comes inside on the wrong count. Offside.
Oh, immensely costly penalty for the Ottawa Rough Riders. From 3rd and a yard, it's 3rd and 6. 144 yards in penalties to the Ottawa Rough Riders.
And you don't want to talk to that guy right now.
I don't think he wants to talk to Adam Rita either. Now Terry Baker with a 45-yard field goal attempt into the wind. It's a fake. Markel Fleetwood running for the first down. He's got it. Out of bounds at the 26-yard line. So Ottawa gets the first down, and the drive will continue. Just the break that Adam Rita's team needed.
Everybody's going for the block, and Markel Fleetwood, the backup quarterback, with very good running ability as well, fakes the pass, and then he tucks it down and gets the first down. What a big play for the Rough Riders.
Adam Rita had the play called and couldn't watch. Check this out. The play is happening as he's watching, and he just sneaks a little peek. Woof. Gutsy call out him. First down from the 27. Barrett over the middle. Ellingson close to another first down as he's dropped at the 18-yard line. And the tackle is made by the safety, Anthony Shelton.
This is a smart play by Danny Barrett because they're bringing those linebackers, Drake Stuman and Witherspoon, and so when he sees that they're coming, this is almost a sight read. James Ellingson just goes down the field 3 or 4 yards and turns inside. There's no linebackers underneath.
Well, you can just imagine the headlines in the Ottawa papers tomorrow if Adam Rita's gamble had not paid off. Second and a couple. Barrett trying to go straight ahead is close to the first down. Daniel Hunter came in late for the football, but Barrett was down on the play. He needed to get to the 17-yard line for the first down, and that's about where they're spotting the football. Right on the 17-yard line, close enough for a measurement. Well, you had to wonder about Terry Baker trying a field goal that far into the wind. And Ottawa comes up with a fake field goal.
Danny Barrett.
Oh, he gets stepped on.
Now the other thing is that's almost a legal procedure because once your hand is down on the ground, you're not allowed to move.
First down for Ottawa at the 17-yard line. 9th play of the drive. Barrett, lots of time, looking for someone to get open. End zone over the head of his intended receiver, James Ellingson. Well, and there was a flag down at the 5-yard line where an Ottawa receiver fell in the area of Corus Irvin.
Well, that's who it's against, Corus Irvin, Stephon Jones. Stephon Jones tries to run down and run a hook. Danny Barrett's looking at him all the way. But Corus Irvin has a grapple on him, and Danny Barrett tries to throw it down the field.
Illegal contact on an eligible receiver, number 14, Shreveport. It's first down.
And the call goes against Corus Irvin. Making a first down for the Riders now inside the 10.
Gives it fake inside, turns, and now he wants to turn back outside, but take a look at the hand on his arm. Left arm, that's pass interference all the way.
First and goal from the 9. Ottawa with a chance to take the lead for the first time. The clock working down to 4 minutes. Barrett under pressure to the end zone, incomplete. And Danny Barrett got whacked.
And who was there? Greg Stuman. Danny Barrett did a miraculous job of even getting this ball away.
And Barrett is hurt. He was looking for Keith Jack, but Jack was well covered, and Barrett gets up.
Danny Barrett certainly shows a resiliency. 1, 2, 3 step drop. Greg Stuman comes in untouched. Whoa.
Second and goal from the 9. 3 receivers to the near side of the field. Barrett rolling. Pressure, dumps it to the flat to Richardson. He's got a ways to go, and he will not get there. Daniel Hunter with him step for step. With help from Savage, the defensive end, Ray Savage came up to make the stop. Richardson is brought down at the 6-yard line. It'll be 3rd and goal from there. Now what?
This time they are going to kick the field goal.
They spot the ball actually at the 8. It'll be a 15-yard try from Terry Baker from the sharp angle of the near hash marks. Baker good on 71% of his field goals this season. Probably one of the best years of his career. This to pull his team within a point. And the clock ran when it should not have. Ottawa has called timeout.
Terry Baker was looking at the 20-second clock. It was getting down, and he decided that he was going to call a timeout. And they also did not have...
Only 11 men on the field.
Yeah,
That's another problem.
Didn't have James Monroe. He's the center.
Well, a big field goal try here for the Riders. Do they dare try another fake? You have to think that Shreveport would be wise to that. This would pull them within a point. We're in for another finish, Jamie. From the 15. Fleetwood to hold. Baker puts it up and good, and the Ottawa Rough Riders trail by 1, but you have to think that after the drive Ottawa put together, Shreveport feels fortunate to still be in the lead.
And you take a look at Shreveport, absolutely no rush at all. Everybody just kind of stood up and watched to make sure that Terry Baker kicked it, and there was no fake.
Now, normally you would take the ball at the 35-yard line, and that's what Shreveport will do here, but remember, kicking off into that wind has been tough for Baker. But Shreveport's not going to take any chances on mishandling the football or anything strange going on. The Pirates want the ball. They've got 3:11 left in the clock, and they'll try to work that clock as much as they can.
And all you have to do is go back to the opening kickoff of this game when Ottawa almost recovered the football.
That's right. It's another nail-biter on the CFL Live on TSN. This one with a lot at stake. 25-24, Shreveport leads. And now they've put another 3 seconds on the clock, so 3:14 to go, fourth quarter. Shreveport ran the ball well in the first half. We'll see if the Bucks go back to the ground here.
Yeah, they had pretty good success initially running that toss where they led with Butch Hadnot. Gave the ball to Martin Patton.
Ottawa's last drive queued up 5:24 on the clock, so it did some of the work for Shreveport. Pass is complete to Wayne Walker up to the 43-yard line, just a yard short of a first down as we get down to the 3-minute warning. 2:59 to play, fourth quarter. Shreveport leads 25-24 and is close to another first down. Back for what should be a great finish when we return to Shreveport right after this. The key numbers, 25-24 Shreveport, 2:59 to play on the clock in front of 32,011 at the Independence Bowl in Shreveport, Louisiana on a hot, muggy night. Hard to believe you see people wearing shorts at a CFL game in the first week of November, but
great.
We're in a place the CFL has never been before. The pickup on the last play was 8 at 2nd and 2 Shreveport from the 43 to the ground, and a first down and then some. Look at him go, Martin Patton across midfield to the Ottawa 49-yard line, and the Riders, worst against the run in the CFL, get hurt there on a 2nd and 2 play that picks up 20.
And what a nice job John Heiderreich does against Greg Battle. Pulls around Childress, 65 bang, gets Battle, and that creates a seam. And now Martin Patton cuts it back inside. Well, that's a big-time play by the offensive line.
First down, Shreveport at the Ottawa 47. A field goal could force Ottawa to score a touchdown. He's going deep, has a man, and it's just out of his reach. Charles Thompson just couldn't get to it. Brett Young back on the coverage. A reminder that Sports Desk follows this game. All the latest from the world of sports on the opening night of the NBA season.
Because you wear them till their tongues hang out, Micotin penetrates the skin to kill athlete's foot.
2nd and 10, Shreveport at the Ottawa 48. Johnson from the shotgun. with the wind at his back. Guns one to the sidelines, almost intercepted. Manny Martin almost had the interception working against Wayne Walker. And Bjorn Nitmo is walking out to midfield for the Shreveport Pirates. He's got the wind at his back. It's gusting. This to restore his team's 4-point lead and force Ottawa to score a touchdown to win the game. He kicked a 55-yarder last week on the last play to beat Toronto. He's 1 of 3 today. His longest of the season, 56. With the win. Terry Smith to hold. He's got it up and lots on it. It is good. That ball hit the end line in the end zone. That would have been good from 65.
That might have been good from 70.
That was an unbelievable kick. Never mind the wind. He nailed that. Now 28-24. Shreveport leads. 2:09 to go. Fourth quarter. The Riders' season is on the line. Ottawa must score a touchdown to get to the playoffs.
He gets everything behind it, and it's right down the middle. But watch where this ball lands on the end line. As hard as he's probably been hit all year.
Oh, and a little taunting of Andre Francis. Don't do the victory dance yet. This one isn't over by a long shot. Ottawa with the ball first and 10 at its own 35. Into the wind, 2:09 to play. Barrett on first down. Out to the flat and incomplete, looking for Dean Noel. That wouldn't have had much anyway, as he was covered on the play very closely by Shreveport linebacker William Evers. So Bjorn Nitmo celebrates on the Shreveport sideline, and now it's up to the Pirates defense. Second and 10, Ottawa from the 35. Crowd on its feet. Barrett has it to Noel. He's got a first down up to the 48-yard line. And the tackle there is made by Ron Perry, but not before he picks up 13 yards and an Ottawa first down. And is Noel hurt? That would be a huge blow to Ottawa, because the Riders did not dress a backup running back in this football game. And Noel has been one of Ottawa's most lethal weapons tonight. He stays in the game.
Sorry, Gord, that was actually a great play by Noel as well, because he knew exactly where he had to get for the first down. Made the reception, turned around, got up the field.
Clock running under 2 minutes. First down, Ottawa. Barrett, long out, has his man. It's complete over there to Keith Jack, who is forced out of bounds inside Shreveport territory. He's pushed out at the 48. That was a long, long throw.
And too big of a cushion. Johnson sinks inside, knowing that the ball has to be thrown a mile to get it out to the receiver. But too big of a cushion.
First down, Ottawa. Riders must score a touchdown. Barrett under pressure, and he is dropped. And again, Ben Williams comes up with a big quarterback sack. And Barrett is slow getting up. That's twice he's been smacked by Big Ben.
He just overpowers James Monroe, the center.
And Barrett rolled over awkwardly on his left knee. Loss of 6. Drives Ottawa back to midfield. Third sack of the game. Barrett, second and 16. Lots of time now. And a receiver open. Ellingson makes the diving catch, but is down at the 42-yard line. Pickup of 13. It'll be 3rd and 3 Ottawa with the season on the line. Remember, Ottawa can lose and still make the playoffs. But then they would be in the position that Hamilton is in tonight, forced to watch someone else decide your fate.
Now, I think Ottawa, in this situation, have to hurry a little bit because time's starting to run down on them. 1:09 left now.
3rd and 3. Barrett, under pressure, gets it away. And it's over the head of his intended target, and Danny Barrett got smacked at the end again. He was looking for Stephon Jones. And Shreveport takes over on downs, 54 seconds remaining. Ottawa does not have a timeout remaining.
Danny Barrett, 3 steps, looking to throw quick. Can't get his feet set, and you see who's in there again, Ray Savage.
And we talked at the start of the game about protecting Danny Barrett. On that drive, he gets sacked for a loss of 6. Hurried. And on that play, forced to throw an incompletion. Shreveport, 1st and 10 at its own 42. Ottawa cannot stop the clock. The give to Ryan Benjamin. Don't go out of bounds. Flag down, that'll be face masking against Ottawa. Benjamin brought down by Manny Martin. A flag came down right at the end of the tackle, and it looked as if Benjamin's face mask was grabbed. It is, and that'll push Shreveport still further down the field. 48 seconds to play now in the final minute of the game.
It's good awareness by Benjamin. You know, he was going pretty quickly towards the sideline, realized he does not want to go out of bounds and stop this clock. Try to put on the brakes, and then Manny Martin.
Major foul, face mask, number 7, Ottawa.
Pulls his face mask.
Penalty, 1st down.
Puts the ball at the Ottawa 50, and when Bjorn Nitmo hit that last field goal, it sailed a mile. You got to think they're already in his range. It would be a 57-yard field goal now.
He's not going to attempt another field goal. They're going to run this clock out.
Clock stops on the penalty, 47 seconds. Again, Benjamin. Big hole down to the 40-yard line, close to another 1st down. Ottawa has been unable to stop the run all season long. And it looks to be Ottawa's undoing here. 43 seconds to go, and now the clock will start as soon as the chains are in place. Now running.
Mike Johnson, he's not going to take that snap until there's 1 second left on that time clock. He looks around back at the clock.
Play clock down to 5. Just gets the play off. Good clock management. Benjamin gets dropped for a loss. Jesse Small makes the tackle, but brilliant job by Shreveport. 19 seconds to play, and the Pirates can run it out on 3rd down.
You think how big that timeout was for Ottawa when they were going to attempt the field goal.
Think of all the words that have been used to describe Shreveport this year. A circus, a joke. Nobody's laughing now.
Winning 3 of their last 4 ball games. Something good to build on for next year. And these fans will be back.
Final play of the game. The Ottawa Rough Riders, who came here needing a victory to clinch a playoff spot, will have to wait until Sunday. And play is called with no time left on the clock. Let's get the call. Time count.
Number 10, Shreveport, 10-yard penalty, 3rd down.
It'll be a 10-yard penalty. There is no time left anyway, and a damp Forrest Gregg hugs Ben Williams, who came up with 2 gigantic defensive plays. And the Shreveport Pirates. What a story. And for the first time this year, the NFL Hall of Famer is smiling. His team won only 3 all year long, but finished with a flourish. And the Ottawa Rough Riders finished the regular season with 7 consecutive losses. Time has expired. Shreveport's season is over. Ottawa's may very well be, and the Hamilton Ticats can make the playoffs with a win over Saskatchewan on Sunday. And the Glebermans have their revenge on Ottawa. And it will be a long flight to the nation's capital tonight. Three wins in their last 4 games. You can bet Forrest Gregg want Mike Johnson back as his quarterback next season. Johnson didn't have big numbers tonight, but produced when he had to. And Adam Rita must now go back to the drawing board. Must now go back home and watch TV on Sunday and see if his team will play in the playoffs next week. And there you see the teacher, Danny Barrett, seated talking to his pupil, Mike Johnson. Teammates at BC, very close friends. Johnson comes away with the win. Both their seasons may be over.
It's really nice to see Mike Johnson talking to Danny Barrett. Danny Barrett, of course, has been through the wars, passing on some of his experience at BC to Mike Johnson. Greg Stuman, what a game he had this evening. All sorts of pressure on Danny Barrett.
28-24, the Shreveport Pirates beat the Ottawa Rough Riders. We'll be back to wrap it up in just a moment from Shreveport.